There we go. Everything should be set up right. Yep, everything looks good. Game looks good. Stream is going well, not dropping frames or anything. Alright, get all the tweets and all that sort of stuff. Okay. It is time for us to start up the role quests for Endwalker, finally. I mean, I say finally, I finished it. I finished it a few weeks ago. And I've done all the way through 6.3, so... there is that. But we're finally about there. Also, I'm basically going to be doing the role quest with the artifact armor, pretty much for each class. Minus one thing. The sword is just too bland on the artifact set, so I'm actually going to use my bright, glowy, like, really what it is like watery and bubbly, but it really fits like the holy paladin kind of aesthetic really well, actually. But the rest of it, I'll use the artifact set. Hey, Julie. Hey, Cece. Hello. Yep, totally new. Cece's never been here before. Not even once. Yep, that's right. So I have no real idea exactly what to expect from the role quest. I've seen a small amount of other people running role quests and like Lulu's highlights and things like that. So, but nothing that really tells me exactly what happens in them. So this should be pretty fun. Also, I'm planning to just throwing shit at me now. I'm pretty much planning to run the role quests like in sequence, I think. So, they may not be like every single week I run exactly the job quest, role quest. I was thinking of doing it that way, but there's also the event that's either out now or starting soon, the Little Ladies Day, and I want to run the event at some point to get the rewards and all that stuff from it, and then some other things. So it may take me longer than like 5 weeks. Oh, that's crazy to think I have my streams planned out for almost 2 months. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna be doing Paladin today, and then next week, or the next role quests or job quests I do will be like Dragoon, then Sage, then Bard, and eventually Summoner. I still need to get him up a little bit, but I have almost a month before I get to the Summoner quest, so I'm good. First you drop an anvil on my head, and then you pat me. Thanks, Julie. Alright. Let's see what your problem is, dude. Shrouded in peril. Not even in the urgent need of start defending. No combat and no threat to his home. I've come on behalf of the Twin Adders to enlist the aid of the accomplished fighters. The small folk cower in their homes for fear of an unprecedented threat to the Twelfth Wood. A blasphemy. Strikes quickly and with deadly precision before turning to the shadows whence it came. Try as we might, we have yet to devise a means to track it, much less slay it. Several brave souls search for it even now, but their chances would improve greatly if they had a stout protector by their side. Judging by your reputation, I dare say you're precisely the man we seek. What say you? You serve as the shield that stands between Gridania and certain doom. Protecting the realm is what I do. Made it difficult to refuse. Yeah, protecting the realm is pretty much what I always do, dude. Take that as an enthusiastic yes. Make haste to the Adder's Nest to report from my superior. While Gridania shall pray for your success. Actually, Grenadier is a pretty cheap transport. Why is it so cheap from Rods at Han? I suppose Thavnair is down there in the south. Although the fact that we set out for Thavnair from Limsa, I think, might mean that they think I'm teleporting, like, from there. I don't know. Going between Sharlayan and Thavnair, I think, is, like, the most expensive teleport in the game currently. I believe. And that one, like, kills me every time, because it's over 1,000 gil every time. Alright. Oh, Adder's Nest. I can just run that. Little tiny pixie cat. Interesting. Just hanging out. His Honor Rods at Han sent word of your arrival. I still scarcely believe our luck. You truly had to help us bring this wicked blasphemy to you. And there's hope for us yet. I shall fetch the Elder Seedseer at once. She is leading the hunt. I'm certain she'll be most eager to see you. Oh, also, I may be able to start getting into, like, Savage and Ultimate stuff eventually. Another streamer was trying to, like, put together groups, like static groups and things like that. And we basically just, like, submitted kind of like Google Forms of, like, what's our experience? What classes can we play? What times can we play? Things of that sort. And it looks like some groups are starting to form now. So that may be starting pretty soon. I think we're still, like, sorting certain things out. But we may end up starting up some of those things pretty soon. But it's a bunch of people that I know, mostly. Not all of them. Some of them are pretty new people that I haven't really played with before. But most of them are people that I know. Other streamers and things like that. Yeah. It's about half and half. Like, about half of them are people that I know and have talked to and interacted with on other streams or in their chats or things like that. And then some of them are people that I've, like, never interacted with before. So it'll be interesting to see how we sort of sort everything out and figure out days and times and what content and all that sort of thing. Glad am I to welcome you in good health and good spirits, Ashran. On behalf of all Gridania, allow me to thank you for rising to our defense yet again. There we go. You will forgive me for eschewing further formalities, as time is of the essence. I shall share with you what little we know of this elusive scourge. Following the events in Thavnair, we received a report that an unidentified man had fallen into fits on the road before transforming into a beast most foul. A blasphemy, we soon determined. It's interesting that they've kind of settled on the phrase blasphemy for these, because I could swear they were also calling them, like, abominations as well when we were doing the Endwalker MSQ. Although, once again, that last Endwalker MSQ I did was 21 hours long, so a lot of things about sort of like the mid to late Endwalker may be somewhat of a haze to me. Witnesses to subsequent attacks spoke of patterns on its skin reminiscent of heavy chains. Thus we have named it Gleipnir, for the creature of legend. Wait, really? Emerges from the brush without warning, bringing destruction and tragedy to those unfortunate enough to be near. Ere we can respond, it retreats into hiding, leaving no trace for us to follow. No, wait. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Yeah, I think I'm wrong with that. I was thinking, is this one going to be related to Odin? Which would almost make sense because that was in Gridania. But no, that's Sleipnir is Odin's mount. What's Gleipnir? I'm pretty sure it's a creature, but I can't remember what it is. Let me look that up real quick. Gleipnir. No, not anime. Not manga. Thank you. Just plain Wikipedia. Alright. Old Norse Open One is the binding that holds the mighty wolf Fenrir. Gods had attempted to bind Fenrir twice before with huge chains of metal, but Fenrir was able to break free both times. Therefore, they commissioned the dwarves to forge a chain impossible to break. Magically from 6 things in the world, blah, 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 blah. Even though Gleipnir is as thin as a silken ribbon, it is stronger than any iron chain. So it's like a living chain. Nuvalier. Having bound Fenrir securely was the cause of tears lost him from Actually, I don't know that it's living. It's a chain that they use to bind Fenrir. Okay, that is not what I thought it was. Actually, I'm not sure what I thought it was. Can I send on my way? I see. Ah, I understand, CC. So you're a fan of the kudere type of girls, apparently. The elementals cry out for us to rid the forest of this wicked presence. Yet even if we tracked it to its lair, I fear besting the beast would be no simple matter. I would like to be a Bajal. So that was one of the weirdest things, is, just recently I ran some content. What was it? The Taru's Grand Endeavor. And I was interacting with Arun, who's been going out and traveling the world a little more, and been like, most people just mistake me for, it was an Aura. I think he said Zayla is what, like, most people mistake him for. And legitimately, I didn't realize there was a difference between Aura and Bajal. I mean, I knew there was, like, a lore difference, like, they studied white magic, all that. But I kind of assumed that the Bajal were meant to be retconned into being Aura after the Aura were added to the game. I didn't realize they actually are 2 different species. Let's give me a better horn glam. They can make me look like one. Yeah. Like, that was actually a legitimate surprise to me. I figured after they added them to the game, they just retconned that, like, the Bajal were just a subgroup or whatever of Aura, and people didn't really know about it here because we didn't really have a bunch of Aura in Eorzea. Bajal are an offshoot of Hyur. See, I didn't know that. Like, I just figured they have the horns, they're probably like an offshoot of Aura. And since Eorzea didn't really have Aura before we introduced them, and they were all from other countries, right? We just didn't know they were supposed to be Aura before now. But yeah, that was impressive to me, that the Bajal are actually still a distinct species separate from the Aura. Here that have been blessed by the forest spirits. Oh, the elementals. Why does a blessing from the elementals give one horns? Like, I get that's the reason, but I don't understand why the elementals gave them horns. Wounds of Gleipnir's victims are tainted by corruption. We can but conclude that the fiend's fangs, claws, and horns are all imbued with a powerful poison. The smallest scratch sends the afflicted into fits, and death soon follows. Mayhap you know of the creeping death. The effects of Gleipnir's vile poison bear more than a passing similarity to the symptoms of that deadly plague. It swept through the Twelveswood many years ago. Oh, is this a 1.0 thing? Sick found their skin covered in chain-like patterns, and spent their final moments in excruciating pain. It was long before I came to Gridania. People still speak of it with dread. Is it true that the disease spared not a single here? Very nearly, yes. Before the remainder were taken, we were able to devise a cure from the Glimshroom. Slow though it was, the scars of this tragedy could then begin to heal. Blightmere threatens to reopen old wounds, I fear. Yet despite the similarities between the blasphemy's corruption and the creeping death's marks, it is unclear how these two phenomena are related, if at all. Both conjury and white magic have failed to abate the poison's spread. And I'll just assume you guys have already tried the Glimshroom concoction and that failed as well. To confront Blightmere now would place our soldiers at risk of grievous injury. Give me Elder Seeds here. This appears to be urgent. Well, again? Blightmere struck once more, in the North Shroud. The Whalers came too late to see the beast themselves, but the man it attacked yet lives. They're bringing him to Fallgold Float as we speak. And we must meet them there. Will you accompany us, Ashray? Ethelmer should be able to apprise us of the details upon our arrival. Oh. Wait, this isn't considered cover? That's interesting. Yeah. The awning isn't considered cover, it seems like. Huh. They must have that, like, registered wrong in the game's code, then. Because it's functioning, there's definitely no rain under the awning. So it definitely, like, has collision and is designed to keep the rain out. But for some reason it doesn't register as cover for the auto umbrella. Oh, sorry. Really? Does this not register either? If I turn it off, does it turn back on? No, it just got stuck on. Yeah, the auto umbrella does that sometimes. It just gets, like, stuck in the on position. And the seats here. You honor us with your presence. Can't thank you enough for coming all this way. Given the dire circumstances, I would not leave this to another. Where is the wounded man? Outside of the bobbing cork, being attended to by one of our heroes. He's a capable healer, but I worry this is beyond his abilities. I shall do all in my power to aid him. I in turn may have need of assistance as well. I ask that you stay close, both of you. Like, interestingly enough, I'm also a white mage. I could probably help with the healing, but this quest line doesn't really register the fact that you're a white mage. It's focused on paladin, or tank, in general. It is interesting that the tank quest line has so much to do with, like, Gridania and the heroes and white mages and Pajal and all that. And a disease. He's a hardy soul, but I'm utterly at a loss. When I managed to heal his wounds, the poison lingers. I fear the worst is yet to come. When I removed his clothes for treatment, I recognized the chains. This is indeed the creeping death. Do not lose heart. I shall spare no effort. Rest for now. We may have need of your talents again ere long. She goes, man. She goes. A bloody swarm of them. I came from the East Gate. Shigos are known as carriers of the creeping death. The villages are on edge. If they think the Valken harbingers of another plague, they may panic. Pray see to the Shigos. I shall remain here with the victim. Like, this is easy. You want me to go fight Shigos? Those things are like level 1 or 3 or some shit like that. I could fight literally an infinite amount of them and not have any trouble. They wouldn't even be able to damage me. But let's see what this turns into. They're near Elder Springs. Whole swarm of them, like an army getting ready for war. Bringing the creeping death like as not. Folk have been dropping dead with no rhyme or reason, and I'm not about to join them, no sir. Came running back fast as my legs could carry me. Were you bitten? I'll show you to hear if so. A single hole that doesn't belong, you can be sure. We'd best do something about that swarm, though. Whether we could, but keeping the gate manned is our priority. We've not the numbers to spare for a hunting party. By the time Whaler reinforcements arrive, it may be too late. We'll deal with the Chigos. The one who calls the greater number owes the other a flagon of ale, eh? And your bravery. Godspeed, and don't get bitten. Like, these things can't damage me, so I don't have to worry about getting bitten. Everything they throw at me will be, like, blocked or dodged, if they're just normal. Well, actually, they might be a bit higher level. But they were super weak, but if they're around this area, they might be supposedly around, like, level 25, 30, something like that. Uh-oh. Hopefully this guy doesn't get bitten. 85? What the hell? Kind of Chigo is level 85. Yeah, there's definitely something out here causing them then, if they're that strong. Will be praised. And you, come bearing a cure for the creeping death, but it's little use against actual death. Ah, that's why I've come. I heard tell of a man suffering from uncommon pains at Paul Gold Flow. Since an opportunity for philanthropy, and a touch of profit, I'll admit. What you say is true. His condition demands a much swifter pair of feet than mine. Would you bring the medicine to him in my stead? No need for payment this time, of course. I don't know, man. Saved my life. Good turn deserves another. I hope the cure works as well as purported. As for me, I'll be on my way. Give any vial can I spy a wide berth. That seemed a little too convenient, honestly. Here's a cure for creeping death. I can't imagine they don't have, like, the Glim Shroom concoction on hand and have already tested, which means this must be some sort of new cure. I wonder if it'll work, and I wonder if that was really just a merchant. Thank you for cooling the Chigos. Alas, our patient's condition has yet to improve. It's all we can do to keep him from succumbing to the poison. You think there was medicine made from the Glim Shroom which cures the creeping... No, this is just the Glim Shroom one. Oh, come on. You cannot convince me that Gridania doesn't just keep a whole stock of Glim Shroom concoction on hand if the creeping death was that big of a problem for them a few years ago. That they haven't already tested this. I know this medicine was once used to treat the creeping death. Given his symptoms, it may well prove effective here as well. It works upon the body quite quickly as I recall. Hold on just a while longer, my friend. The medicine will soon relieve your pain. It hurts. It hurts. Why? So the Glim Shrimp concoction doesn't do anything, or maybe even hastens it. Have mercy. At the very least, his suffering is over. If we'd been quicker to deliver the medicine, would he have lived? Nay, I think not. He was doomed from the moment the poison entered his blood, as will be others if we do not soon gain an understanding of our foe. This tragedy not be in vain, to serve as a lesson. Though the effects of Gleipnir's corruption resemble the creeping death, it is clear that the two share little else in common. Poison burns through the body more quickly than any disease. Too deadly is it to be borne by creatures so fragile as she goes, or any other besides. And that's one less possibility the people need fear. It is a shame a life was lost, but this knowledge may help us ensure that others are not. Spread word, but do so with delicacy. In these troubled times, fear and despair can drive even the goodliest of souls to desperate ends. Gleipnir is the only blasphemy known to us in Gridania, for now. We must do our utmost to stop him from sowing further discord. Understood, Elder Seatsier. I'll give this man a proper burial before sharing what we've discovered. Ascertaining Gleipnir's whereabouts is still a primary concern. Let us return to the Adder's Nest, for information shall be our most reliable weapon in the days ahead. There's no better place to acquire it. Oh, great, an ad brand. I didn't even notice. Man, I hate that so much. Oh, back to the Adder's Nest. Water. Oh. Unfortunately, I have to aggressively avoid anyone doing Bard performance when I'm streaming. I get enough trouble with, like, DMCA shit without having to deal with that. Gleipnir has been cited in various locales. Though we're reviewing every report, we suspect most are erroneous. The air is a way of making one jump at shadows. Take some time before we have determined which reports merit a more involved investigation. So then I ask that you stay vigilant and keep your eyes peeled for any sign of the blasphemy. You know, that's a lot of experience to give for... Oh, actually, this is a level 85 quest. I guess you actually could have used this to make some, like, levels. Too bad. I don't like to start this storylines until I know I can go all the way through them, so I usually level up to the max end of the storyline before starting it, which is why I tend to do my job quests in like chunks of 10. Followed up on every report concerning Gleipnir, even those that beg of belief. Most promising suggests the blasphemy is currently stalking the South Shroud. We'll proceed there at once, for there's no telling when it might strike again. Elder Seatsier is already en route to Roots Lake. Let's not keep her waiting. Seeing her out wandering all over the shroud is pretty fun. Doesn't happen too often. We do see Kanasena out and about every so often, like during the MSQ, but not a lot. You almost always return to... Oh, hello. How many? 4. I can do that. I can do that easy. Just need to find them. Just need one more. Come on, game. Okay, so they're not as common as I thought they were. There are only a few of them in this area. Wow, there really is only like 3 of them around here, huh? There we go. A few more allied seals. Not the most useful thing ever, but I can use them for aetheryte tickets at least. Plus, I think there are still a few things I need to get for allied seals that I just haven't yet. Greetings, Asher. As luck would have it, my sister, Raya Ho, frequents Camp Tranquil. We would do well to meet with her first. She may have knowledge of this threat that can aid us in our search. Yeah, actually she does. She tends to hang out around here for me to come by and do white mage quests. It's been too long, Rahel. Connor, I was afraid the situation might force your arrival. Would that this reunion was under more joyous circumstances. It's heartening to see her joined by the bearer of Ato as well. Oh, nice! They actually, acknowledge the fact that I'm a white mage. Fortunately, Gleipnir's poison cannot be cured by any healing force known to us, as I'm sure you've already learned. Nevertheless, I have faith that together we'll find a way to defeat it. Every moment is crucial. Let us dispense with further pleasantries. Have you received word of Gleipnir's whereabouts? I have. Recently ambushed a poor traveler who succumbed to his wounds soon thereafter. Tragic and increasingly common tale. No others in Camp Tranquil have come to harm, but some claim they feel a presence in the distant trees, staring at them with malicious intent. They struggle to find the courage to venture beyond the safety of the camp. While its victims exhibit symptoms reminiscent of the creeping death, Gleipnir's corruption seems only to affect those who have been assaulted by the blasphemy itself. We have yet to confirm a single instance of it spreading from one individual to another. It's somewhat reassuring. It will prove little comfort for the people here, I think. If Gleipnir comes, any defense we mount will come at great cost. Those who fall wounded will invariably die. I'm at a loss. When people under my care could see it, they grow tense and bicker amongst themselves. Some even accuse me of standing idly by while the monster roams free. As if I'm not doing all that I can.
Hey, babe.
Hey, Baron. Hey, Baron. I apologize. Would that I had come to you sooner. Would that there were more I could offer you. Not every burden's yours. He's right. The duty of all seed seers to face this threat. So we should do so together, with the aid of the elementals as well. Under different circumstances, I would agree. Their strength has waned since the calamity. I am reluctant to impose upon them. Indeed, when I open my thoughts to the elementals, I shudder to hear their distress. Oh. Huh. I wonder if the elementals did a lot more, like, obvious shit during 1.0 time. Like, the elementals haven't seemed to do a whole lot during the playthrough that I've done. I think they might have done some things here and there. They've mostly been like a force off in the distance somewhere that sort of influences the world, but never really super directly. I wonder if they were a little more direct in 1.0. If it's really the calamity that's caused them to be, like, waning. Once you've laid low the blasphemy, the elementals will be at peace. And how do you propose we go about that? First, allow me to speak with the people here, and assure them that all will be well. That Gridania's resolve to weather the storm remains steadfast. And roads closed to those true of heart, I suppose. Shouldn't be surprised that you begin with an earnest and heartfelt appeal. For my part, I'll reach out to Arun. They're weaker than they were since the whole Dalek. Yeah. Perhaps together we could find a way to offer similar comfort to the elementals. No doubt we'll require their assistance in the days ahead. 1.0, they were like imprisoning dragons and shit for going against them. Oh, Jesus. Holy shit, man. Thank you, sister. May the 12 watch over and keep you both. I could ask them to do so, if you really want to, guys. Like, I could just head up to Aglaya or Euphrosyne and ask them to watch over you guys. Like, I could just pop up there really quick. I trouble you to accompany me. The presence of a storied hero would surely lend credence to my claims, that the people's difficulties will soon be at an end. Will you attend to that? I'll gather what information I can from the wood whalers stationed here. Or look for me at the camp proper when you have finished. I love that the Pajal are just like hanging out with the Mughals whenever they want. Especially Raya-O, who just hangs out with the Mughals constantly. I mean, we've already slapped their goddess around, so yeah, we did actually. I would expect Gridania and the Shroud to be very aggressively Nothica. Like, I suspect almost everyone in the Shroud pays more homage or more, no, no, not exactly right. Just more faith, I suppose, to Nothica probably than any of the other 12. To come back and work on some white mage stuff eventually, don't I? What is it at? Ooh, 70. Which means I can finish all of the major storylines, but I can't get the last quest yet. I'll probably wait till it's 80 to come back and do that then. And then, Alone was Ishgard, and Limlane was Limsa. Oh yeah, we haven't encountered Limlane yet. Oh, that's gonna be an interesting fight. And then Ul'dah was Nodthal. Yeah, we've beaten up a lot of the gods already. Like, in Doma and Kugane, they don't really worship the 12. I don't think. At least I don't recall there being any one particular one that's like super important in Doma or Kugane, or even really much mention of them at all. They do not. Yeah. So we've beaten up 3 of the 4 like patron deities for like the major city-states. 12 are an Eorzea thing. Oh, wait, no. Sharlayan, Thaliak. We've beaten up 3 out of 5. What about Thavnair? I can't think of any real big mention of the 12 and Thavnair. In fact, I think they worship the beast god things, right? Yeah. Thavner has its own pantheon of like half man, half beast gods. The Manusha? Manusia? And there was another name that they used as well, because it was like two separate pantheons that have kind of become one. I think it was like Manusia, and I think the other one started with like a G or something. I don't remember what they called it, but it was like a pantheon of beasts and a pantheon of like humans or human-ish or whatever, and then like they both became like one by like trading heads and bodies and stuff. But yes, of the five city states that have a super like patron among the 12, we've beaten up 3 of them. So we still have to deal with Thaliak and Limlane. Oh, that's gonna make a lot of sense actually. Like Limlane, who represents like the sea and the oceans and things like that, and then Thaliak, who's knowledge but has that damn urn that just pours infinitely. And then who else? Because we're still missing 3 of them, I think. We did 4 and then we did 5, so I think we're still missing 3 of the 12. Thaliak, Limlane, who else are we missing? We did Bayargot, Nalthal, Althik, Nemea, Malone, Menfina, Nafika. We did. I don't remember who the last one is that we're missing. Like, thinking of the patron deities of each of the cities reminded me of Thaliak and Limlane, but I can't think of who that last one is that we haven't fought yet. It's just there were actually 13, and the 13th had no name, and I feel like that's why we fought 2 gods at once in one fight for the next part. Yeah, because we're going to encounter the 13th, basically, is probably the final fight of all of them. Oh, I do know who the last one that we haven't encountered is. I think it's the Traveler. Ashan? Wait, did we fight Ashan in the first one? That was Bayargot, Naldthal, Ralger, and Azima. No, we did not. Okay. So it's Limlane, Thaliak, and Ashan are left. And then probably a 13th that's like has no name or whatever. That's going to be an interesting one. Also, I still believe our buddy that we encountered in the Myths of the Realm storyline is somehow tied to Ashan. There's way too much about him that's like, I'm a wandering scholar, blah blah blah. It fits too well. Like him or the monkey, I think, are tied to Ashan in some way. So that'll probably get revealed during the last Myths of the Realm fight, I suspect. But yeah, Thaliak, Limlane, Ashan, and probably a 13th. Alright, let's do this. We have to convince the people that they need not live in fear of Gleipnir. Then my words alone might be insufficient. Can I expect the monkey to just reveal itself as the 13th? Maybe. Try to kick our asses. Maybe. I still think our friend from Myths of the Realm is somehow tied to Ashan. Like, he knows too much about the gods and the realm and seems too familiar with it. And he's a traveler and all that. I still think he's tied really closely to Ashan. Like, if he is Ashan or not, I don't know. But every aspect of my being is telling me he's tied to Ashan in some way. I don't know what it is in particular. But yeah, I do absolutely suspect that the monkey is going to be revealed to be like one of the gods, just in an animal form, like all the others have done. Um, I somehow doubt the monkey is going to turn out to be Ashan. You're right about that. I somehow doubt the monkey will turn out to be Ashan, or it seems like the other gods would have recognized him. And they may or may not have mentioned that to us, that they recognize him, because they might have been like keeping a secret for him, but it felt more like they didn't know who the monkey was. Like they had no idea who the monkey was, right? Because even they were like, what's up with that monkey? Like, why is it acting like that? Why is it doing this or that, right? So if it's anything, then the monkey probably is like the 13th, and the other 12 didn't even know of his existence, or at least didn't know who he was. Do not comport myself as an imposing figure blessed with martial prowess, to say the least. You, on the other hand, are renowned as a peerless warrior who has triumphed in countless trials. Simply looking on your features fills me with confidence that this crisis too shall pass. I pray you stay by my side, that those we speak with might be joyed by your presence. Escort quest! Oh, so we're speaking to them, like, individually. Really? Because Camp Tranquil is tiny. You could just, like, made a little speech, and everyone would have heard you. Whatever. Seats are pretty with their guards and finery. What do they care if beasties running amok? They'll be fine. That's why they're doing nothing while it hunts us. We'd be fools to trust our lives to those who don't care a whit. Past time we went south. At least in Old Daw, they don't pretend to look out for the common man. Yeah, you're gonna go south, really? To Old Daw, where you're gonna be stomped on for a single gill by some tiny little Lalafell? Yeah, good luck with that, dipshit. Elder Seeds here. I was just, I promise you that we are sparing no effort in our hunt for Gladney.
Monkey.
Monkey. Monkey. It will take time, and more may suffer before the beast is laid low. Nevertheless, I ask that you place your faith in me. So confused where Monkey was coming from. We're just talking about the 13th god among the 12. The secret 13th god, who's almost undoubtedly that little monkey that's been traveling around with us. Monkey. Monkey. Longer, I love the 12-foot and her people with all my heart. I will not let our enemy torment us forever. I understand. Man's gotta give voice to his worries from time to time, Nothing I want less than to abandon me home. I'll stick around, for now. I love when some asshole is out there whining and complaining, and the person he's complaining about walks up right in front of him, and he just deflates completely into a coward. Like, you know, the same people that are bitching and moaning are usually too cowardly to do it to the person's face, aren't they? Single scratch is enough to spell one's doom, they say. Nothing but to wait for death to come. How can we face a beast like that? Do not give in to despair, my friend. Know that I shall do all in my power to see us through this crisis. Hold fast to hope and encourage others to do so as well. I'll try, Elder Seats here. I'll try. You know you place yourself at risk leaving the safety of the city and coming here. It means a lot to me and mine. I'll stay close to the waylash and pray news of your triumph reaches us soon. Thank you. I promise you that it will not be long. Oops. Wrong button. I saw it. A gargantuan beast stalking the woods, with horns the size of my leg. What's to stop it from coming here to fill its belly? Leipnir will do no such thing, I swear. I shall see to it personally that the blasphemy does not come within a mile of this village. Keep heart, for brighter days lie ahead of us. Truly, Elder Seedsia, perhaps I let my imagination get the better of me. You're a beacon in these dark times, but you restore the peace soon. I shall, you can be certain. Maykeeper. Will that be all for now, Eldasitia? It will. I've done what I can to quell the unrest. So long as Gleipnir lives, they will never be at peace. What an idiot is. What is... Sweet case for the elemental is. Indeed, you are correct. Today was a welcome reminder of that truth, and an important step in our journey. Mayhap I should visit these settlements more often. Doubtless some here think me as distant as the elementals, so rarely do they see me in the outer reaches. You served me admirably as protectors thus far, for which I am grateful. Yet until we have found and laid Gleipnir low, we must continue to impose upon your goodwill. Like, that's not even an imposition. We already planned to fight Gleipnir. It's no imposition, Eldasitia. You saved me on the killing fields of Cardinal. My life is yours now and always. Oh. Yeah, so that's why this guy doesn't seem to have any real knowledge of Gridania during 1.0 in the past and all that stuff. Because she found him on Cartinode, like, during the Calamity. Your life is your own to command, but I thank you for your words, and your conviction, which fills me with confidence that the path we walk is true. Even if that path takes us far afield. Did I ever tell you that when I was a young student I would often steal into the woods with a dear friend of mine, much to the chagrin of our teacher? Deep down I suspect there is still a part of me that yearns to wander where I should not. Talking about herself when she was a student and their teachers and the... Interesting. So it also seems like they may... Well, no, I guess that's not a given. They may or may not be born Pajal, like with the horns growing in as soon as they're born. Because the elementals, if the elementals choose them, they may choose them that young. Or they may be born as just like normal Hur? And then they train to take up the position of Pajal? No, I think they're born that way. I think they are born blessed by the elementals, and then only those that are blessed by the elementals can train to become Pajal. I don't think there was ever a specific point in the story when they said this, but I've always kind of gotten the impression that they are born with the horns growing in. Yeah. It always felt to me like they've had the horns their entire life. None of them seem to feel like at odds with the horns or their nature as Pajal, so I get the feeling they're born that way. Like, born blessed by the elementals, and then only they are allowed to, like, train to be Pajal, basically. Horned youthful beings born rarely in the Black Shroud. They are not a naturally occurring species when they are born from hearing parents and gifted with power. Oh, well, what do you know? That one is... I definitely didn't read wherever that was then, since I was mistaken on multiple things about the Pajal. Gifted with powers from birth by the elements as it dwells with. Suggests to me from birth. Yeah, so they must be born that way. Well, that also raises the question of... Kane, Raya-O, and Arun interact with each other as siblings. But could they... I don't get the feeling they can actually, like, physically, biologically be siblings. They must just act that way since they're all Pajal. Because if it's really that rare, I seriously doubt one husband and wife gave birth to 3 Pajal children. Right? So they must just be like, we're all Pajal, so they treat her like an older sister, and she treats them like younger siblings, I guess. We'll see it. Word from the border. Got ourselves a right bloody mess, that sound of it. What has happened? The early instructions, the whalers closed the roads to all travel. Always scoured the wood for signs of Gleipnir. Now a group of locals demanding to be let through into Thonolin. Terrified by the sound of it, screaming about the creeping death and God knows what else. They all have the same surname, so I lean into them being actual siblings. I guess. But that seems near impossible. Any other Pajal refer to the others as siblings? I guess. You don't encounter a ton of other Pajal, and they don't interact with each other super often. There was, Auna, I think, interacted with Arun and Raya O maybe once, and then the Conjurers Guild one, what the hell is his name again? Interacts with all three of them a couple of times. Oh god, I've forgotten his name since it's been so long since I go to the Conjurers Guild. But that guy, he seems to interact with all three of the siblings fairly often, but not a ton of times on screen, just a few times. Same hair color, the orange ones. Yeah. Like, Arun and Raya O, I thought might be actual siblings since they look so similar and they really act like a brother and sister. But because of the fact that in the little blit fucking whatever thing that Baron just posted, it says it was a really rare occurrence and not naturally occurring. Euna. Yeah, Euna Kotor. That's the Palace of the Dead. Really digs Ravenite, apparently. Kotor, yeah. No, I was forgetting the name of the one from the Conjurers Guild. The one who leads the Conjurers Guild. Euna Kotor, I do remember from Palace of the Dead, because we've been doing a lot of that lately. But yeah, given how rare it was, I just assumed that it was that, like, Arun and Raya O might have been siblings, but that Kane probably was not actually their sibling. But I guess you're right, they do have the same name. But to think that a single husband and wife gave birth to 3 Pajal children is insane to me. If it's really that rare for the elementals to bless children. Esumian. Yeah, that's the one. That's insane, man. This family is super blessed by the elementals then, I guess. Despair grips their hearts. If it consumes them wholly, then we may have yet more blasphemies to contend with. You know, a lot of what I'm encountering No, actually, that kind of makes sense. I was gonna say, a lot of these storylines I'm doing are giving the impression that people can still turn into blasphemies just by becoming depressed. But I'm like, I already dealt with Medion. There's no way people can still turn into blasphemies just by becoming depressed. And then I realized, oh wait, these role quests start before the end of Endwalker. Like, these role quests started about halfway through Endwalker. There's a description on the horns. They appear as bumps. Yeah, I assume so. I didn't think the children were born with big spiky horns. That would kind of be horrible for the mother. I assume they were born with, like, little tiny bumps that grew into big horns as they grew up. But yeah, I remembered that these role quests, you were supposed to start about halfway through Endwalker, so people still transforming into blasphemies at a moment's notice is, like, still supposed to be a thing. I will speak with them. Wild rumors fueled our panic, and with truth and compassion will I convince them to see reason and return to their homes. If anyone can, it's you, Elisizia. I'm doing our best to keep them calm for now. But my man's words painted a grim picture. Oof, weird phrasing there. Pray you make your way to the border as quickly as you can. Wrong button. Again. My fingers are slightly off in their normal placement. I think my keyboard needs to be adjusted slightly. Where it's put. There we go. Can I explain in one of these the blasphemies still can trigger the transformations themselves for those who have done the last mission? I'm not sure if that's in the tank one. Oh, So, like, post Endwalker, we don't need to worry about random people transforming into blasphemies, but, like, if a blasphemy shows up and torments people, it can still cause them to transform as well. Is that what you're saying? Like, if a blasphemy causes people to like, despair, it can still force them to transform. That's insane to me, that that's even possible. Because every bit of that seemed to be fueled by Medion's dynamis. Like, the transformations. Like, dynamis routers. I guess. If the blasphemies that still exist are like leftovers from when people were transforming, then some little bit of like the hatred and despair Medion was sending to our world to make us transform might still be kind of left over in their beings or something. And so they can still force others to transform. Well, then we really need to deal with the blasphemies that still exist as fast as we can. This is the kind of thing that, like, you need to stem the tide as fast as possible. Otherwise, it just spreads. Let us through, damn you! We're standing here while the creeping death nips at our heels. You're telling us to die! Blasphemies are like super strong versions of Medion's garbage monsters, so that might be why they can still trigger it. Oh. Oh. Oh, that must be the different phrasing of it. I kept hearing, like, blasphemies recently, and I'm like, didn't we call them abominations during Endwalker? And we probably did. Abominations were probably just the generic whatever the fucks that we encountered during Endwalker. And blasphemies are almost more like light bringers, in a way. Like, abominations are probably somewhat like sin eaters, while blasphemies are more like light bringers. Like, they're much more organized, much more powerful, and have much more of their own, like, free will to sort of corrupt the world around them. Okay. I was wondering why it kept being, like, abominations before, and then I kept hearing blasphemies recently. I'm like, why did they change that? Those rumors are false. Elder Seedseer herself sent word that the creeping death is not responsible for the recent incidents. You mustn't surrender to panic. Return to your homes while we deal with the threat, and pay no heed to baseless stories. Stories? Stories? I've seen the dead with my own eyes. Don't tell me what is and isn't true. Can I just slap this idiot, please? Like, walk up and slap that stupid redheaded idiot. Like, shut the fuck up. There's a monster out there causing it, and I'm gonna kill it. Now go home and shut up. Hearken to me, my friends. I guess she's handling this a lot better than I would. Come before you now to assure you that the creeping death has not returned. Only those who have been wounded by Gleipnir are in danger. So I beseech you to take shelter in your homes until the threat has passed. Gleipnir? Beast I saw in the wood? We had to run, it could have followed us! You saw him? Where? I'm far from here. Those glistening horns, those terrible chains, reaching out to drag you down to the seventh hell. We ran and never looked back. Don't worry, it didn't catch any of us. No one's marked, see? That means we're safe, right? Yeah, sure, didn't catch any of you. But say we weren't quite fast enough. What then? Its horns and claws are where the poison resides. Even a scratch would be cause for concern. Although it is somewhat interesting to me that Gleipnir just appears to be killing people. Like, I get the feeling this guy might be about to transform, but it seems like up to this point, Gleipnir's poison's just been killing people, not turning them into. Fenrir is an interesting name for a blasphemy, but I guess that's because they got Odin rocking up every weekend to say hi, so Norse influences. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. When I heard Gleipnir, I'm like, oh, maybe that makes sense with Odin. And then I'm like, wait, no, that's not right. That's Sleipnir. What the hell is Gleipnir? So yeah, I looked it up earlier on stream. I'm like, the bindings of Fenrir. Well, I guess the chain things make sense then. Even a little scratch. It's too late for me. It's that when my body feels like it's on fire. Tell me the branches tripped you up. You said that's how it happened. You said... Yes, and you were about to take him across the border so that he could, like, either die, which would be simple, or turn into a monster and turn other people into monsters as well. I don't feel any better. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah, no. That's not how this works, dude. It hurts. Help me. Conjury has no effect. There can be no mistake. This is Gleipnir's doing. Even so, I ask that you do not lose heart. Stay strong, for if we surrender to fear, the beast has already won. Don't want to die. Help me. Yeah, no one can, dude. Guess you should have run faster. Will you stop? Like, will you stop scaring the shit out of everyone else around you, idiot? You're just making it worse. Get back. Ah, what's this? Yeah. Said it wasn't. Why? Monkey. Liars, all of you. None of us are safe. None of us will. Yeah, coward. Whiny little bitch coward. You gotta transform and make my life more horrible just because you're too much of a coward.
Monkey.
Monkey. Yeah.
Monkey.
Parrot. Despair made manifest. 12 for Fend. Is there naught that can be done for these poor souls? Yes. Kill before they spread it to other people who are all cowards and immediately lose every bit of hope they have because these idiots turned into monsters. But one thing I know we must lay them to rest. Contain the threat. Like, take the rest of these morons and get them away from here now while the rest of us soldiers fight these things. Get the boring idiots out of here, or we're just gonna have more monsters to deal with. Oh wow, one-shot that dude. Oh no, actually he probably was taking some damage from the AoE of my previous attacks. Yeah. At peace, that it had not come to this. I was powerless to prevent it. You did all you could, Elder Seetsia. Is that what's going to happen to us? Is there no hope? What you witnessed was the fate of those who fall to deepest despair. It feeds upon grief and anguish and is more deadly than Gleipnir itself. As I swore to you that we shall defeat the blasphemy that haunts our homeland, so too do I swear that despair will not be the end of us. Keep the faith and look to the horizon, for brighter days will come. As you say, Elder Seetsia. As you say. Gleipnir is not here, so you are free to return to your homes. But urge you to take care on the path back. We will, Elder Seetsia. Ugh, idiots. Like, so much of the trouble we've had during the final days is caused much more by people's idiocy than, like, any real threat. Like, than any physical danger. It's people being idiots, putting themselves in stupid situations, and then losing all hope and just becoming more threats to us. The storm has passed, but a darker tempest roils in the distance. So long as the specter of despair looms, the people will struggle to take any words of comfort to heart. We will see more tragedies like this. Elementals too cry out for a solution. The longer we struggle to resolve this crisis, the more innocent lives we put at risk. Raya O said we would need to turn to the elementals for assistance. I know now that she was right, so I will seek audience with the Great One. The interesting part would be to see if any of the elementals completely lost hope and gave in to despair. Could an elemental turn into a monster? That would be super dangerous, but it'd be interesting to see. But there are preparations I must attend to first. I shall make the proper ablutions at the lotus stand. Pray return to the adder's nest and await my summons. Although probably also impossible. The elementals are like so different from normal people that it's difficult even for hearers to truly understand their thoughts and feelings and things like that. I seriously doubt they could just give into despair and transform the same way that mortals are able to. Oh. Thanks, bud, but I need to go. Like, you know, when I'm streaming, maybe I should just turn performance off when I'm streaming. I think elementals are pure ether, and I don't think Dynamis could mess with them. Oh yeah, that's right. The elementals are pure ether, aren't they? I'm not positive of that, but I think you're right. I think the elementals are beings made purely out of ether. So yeah, Dynamis would be like nothing to them. Dynamis could never influence them, I don't think. Well, not never. The whole reason why Meteon was gathering despair out in the depths of the universe basically was to build up the power of Dynamis to make it so strong that it could affect even a world seeped in ether like Aetheris was. So I suppose eventually Dynamis could overpower beings of pure ether, but it'd take a long time. Despite our best efforts, we've been unable to prevent further loss of life. We see even greater hardship ahead. I am glad they aren't able to transform because, well, yeah. We press on and mustn't forget the words of the Elder Seedseer. We must strive to remain undaunted in the face of despair. There would be uber powerful spirits of despair popping up every time someone lit a campfire. Oh god. Yeah. Every time someone started to burn branches for a campfire, yeah, that'd be pretty bad. Preparing for a community with the Great One. When time is right, she'll call upon us both. Till then, my friends, stay strong. This is actually a decent experience and could really kind of help you on those last bits of leveling up. But the problem is, since I don't know exactly how well it could help me level up, I'd rather just go to 90 so I can make sure I'm ready for all the quests and don't have to, like, stop the role quest mid-story to go level up somewhere. Trying to have some soldiers of the Keeper... Shoulders of the Keeper of the Entwined Serpents bespeaks weariness. The situation is worsened since last we spoke. Leibniz grows bolder in his attacks, and the conjurers are spread thin in their efforts to attend the victims. Moreover, we're no closer to finding a means to counteract the Blasphemies' poison. Doing it when you were leveling definitely can't do it to get you to the level. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, if I started at 85, I seriously doubt it's enough experience that, like, the 85 one would have pushed me to 86, and the 86 one would have pushed me to 80. Plus, who knows if it's every level. It may just be every few levels. Like, if by some insane occurrence, I'm not able to get Summoner up to 90 before I run it, even though Summoner's the last one I'm gonna run the roll quest with, and it only has like 4 levels left. There's almost no way I won't get up to 90 in time. If I end up at like 88 or 89 or something, I can probably start the quest then and still do fine.
She a bad little bunny. I'm a
Mellow.
bad little bunny. She a bad little bunny. She's a freak, lots of money.
Yeah, you're totally new, Mellow. That's why you have your own walk-on with Blurp. You're absolutely new. Never been here before. Uh-huh. Also, hi, Mellow. Hi, Shin.
Do you know Nahi?
Did you seriously just do...
Look at Mr. TV.
Oh.
Zoned out right there.
Lahi. There's sleepy cheese behind it. Should probably put the clips over the alerts.
So cute.
Where are those? That'd be situational. That'd be the Twitch. Sleepy cheese.
Oh my gosh.
There's the alerts.
That's so funny.
Where is the clip?
Oh,
those may actually be in the same place. I put all of my alerts.
So cute.
No, that's the Twitch alerts. I did indeed use a blurb to do the beginning part. It was required. Do you know that he? And then you do it.
I love when he does that.
Oh god. Situational, no, not that stuff. The overlays. Stream social. No. Not there. What's gonna be on the... Oh, that's the, No, because that would be the one in the middle. Which one's running the... Okay, yeah. All of my alerts are on their own separate scenes. So I'll have to, like, shift that around off stream. Let me jot that down in the notes. Otherwise, I have to switch to a separate scene midstream that has, like, nothing on it but alerts and change things around. Now I go to sleep. Good night. Night, Baron. Alright, there we go. Just jot that down in my notes and I'll take care of it later. No choice but to wait until death claims them. Some are overwhelmed by hopelessness. Hi, Zeb. Let me get that. Yeah. Hydrate. Check your posture. Do everything. Water and water and water. Don't forget to take care of yourself. I do, actually. Constantly forget to take care of myself. I have such a fucked up back, too, that when I'm hunched over and shit for long periods of time, it's not helpful. What have you been up to? Taco Tuesday!
What?
Oh man. Okay. Let's see where I'm at here. We lose when that beast the lash out at their former countrymen. Such tragedies all too easily beget further tragedy. As bereaved loved ones are in turn overcome and share in the same horrid fate. People speak of these incidents in hushed whispers. Actually be playing that game again today. You guys play that game? No. No, that wasn't the one I thought it was. Actually, yeah, that is a new one, isn't it? Sorry. I saw like 4 people gathered around in a dark game, and I assumed Phasmo, but no, that game was called like Forsake, something like that, I think was what the title said. Phasmo is common. Forsake is a little more rare. Okay, I was gonna say, you guys play that game all the time, because I was thinking it was Phasmo. You guys are like level 1, no, like 300 something in Phasmo, I think. Is it the same sort of idea, though? Like, 4 people off investigating some supernatural whatever thing? Because that's kind of what it looked like. It looked very similar to Phasmo. Sevi is starting Diablo 3 Season Stew for the Rashi and Rizabunios. Ooh, Diablo 3 stuff. See, Diablo 3 is kind of fun, but I never got super into it, because that sort of like grinder, looter sort of stuff I would enjoy more, I think, if I played with other people. Like a group, and we just run out and grind through it and play through the story like 5 times on harder difficulties and getting powerful gear and all that shit. Also, I didn't know a new season was starting. Mention a thing on there, so I jump in on that. Oh. Went with D3 for like the first week or 2 of the season, then it gets shelved again. Yeah, that's probably the same way I'd pretty much be if I went and played D3. Actually, I don't have D3 on the PC at all. When did I play it last? Was that the Xbox 360? I think it might have been. Also, I didn't do like any of the season stuff in D3. I think I played through the story like once. Pretty good of it. We're getting different people in the group tomorrow. Will be the first crash probably around me. Oh, yeah. Just like as people peace out, new ones join in. People speak of these incidents in hushed whispers, afraid that at any moment a monster might appear within their midst. Like, we need to slay Gleipnir, but finding a cure for the poison would be great, but we need to get rid of Gleipnir as soon as we can. Indeed, let us hope the Elder Seedseer's efforts to enlist the aid of the elementals are successful. United, we may at last cleanse the 12's wood of this evil once and for all. Is this person like... Who is it? Oh, it's you. I think that person's trying to pentameld. Because I kept hearing cracks and shatters. Yeah, see? They're shattering stuff. Which means either they're trying to extract and failing, or they're trying to pentameld and failing. Because some of trying to extract from the highest eye level gear has a percentage chance of failing too. Let me just turn my camera this way so I don't have to listen to them constantly. Urgent news, Ashra. Gleipnir's ambushed a party of wood whalers. They're engaged with blasphemy near the Guardian Tree, where the Great One slumbers. This bodes ill. Does it divine the Elder Seedseer's intent? It's attempting to prevent her from communing with the elementals. In any event, we can't let Gleipnir harm the tree. The Elder Seedseer bade us rendezvous with her at Sorrel Haven. We leave at once. Why? Like, rendezvous with her at Sorrel Haven? No! Fuck that! How about I go straight to the Elder Tree and I kill this thing before it disappears again? God damn it. Will you guys stop screwing around? I spend so much time, like, let's gather together here and prepare for that we miss Gleipnir every time. Like, stop. Central. White Wolf? Yeah, that should be White Wolf. Yeah. Like, if it's heading for the Elder Tree, how about I don't meet up with Kanesena in a random place in the middle of nowhere, and I just go straight for the Elder Tree game. I guess that'd be too logical. Now, that's a lot of dead wood whalers, I'm guessing. Look at all these arms that are busted. Across the ground, there's no other trace of mana blasphemy. Oh, fell beast. Great, even the wood whalers and the hearers lost themselves to despair and transform. Wonderful. Yes, this is a bunch of your wood whalers dead. I think I know what happened here. I pray that I am wrong. There's no sign of the wood whalers save their arms and armor. Seasoned warriors would never cast aside their equipment, but here it lies, seen out a single body. In the face of certain death, even the bravest among us can succumb to despair. Where the blasphemy's poison took them, they transformed. Damn it, dude. I think your wood whalers need better training then. Leitner could not have gone far. He may be watching us even now. You're on your guard. The air is thick with corruption. If the wood whalers succumb to a man, then we can expect a hard fight. I dread the thought of hurting our brave soldiers. We cannot allow the creatures they have become to roam free. Oh, great. Another unwanted ad from Twitch. Wonderful. Let's form 2 groups and more quickly track down and cull the beasts. Once we have finished, we shall regroup under the boughs of the guardian tree. Let's go. Like, I really think your wood whalers may need better training before you put them out on the front lines if this is what happened to them. Like, getting poisoned and dying, I can expect, right? It's difficult to avoid being poisoned when you have to go out and fight a creature that has a deadly poison in, like, every one of its attacks. But all of them succumbing to despair and turning into monsters themselves, I think they need better training. I get once you've been poisoned and there's no cure and you know there's no cure, it's difficult not to despair a little, but you would hope trained soldiers who understand that despair causes them to turn into monsters that kill their friends and family might, you know, hold back a little bit, be a bit more stoic. What are we doing now? Oh, it's actually the Elder Tree. Hello there. Like, it's not gonna be... Yeah, it's not gonna be Gleipnir. We're still multiple levels, multiple quests off from actually facing it. Or if we face it, then it's not gonna be a decisive fight here. Our work is done, then. The loss of so many brave souls is tragic, but now they are at peace. The guardian tree is safe. Let us take comfort in that. Is it? Because none of us fought Gleipnir. It's probably still around here somewhere. But pray the Great One will hear my plea. Would you like me to pray with you? Because I'm technically a white mage as well. They kind of acknowledge that you're a white mage once in this questline, but since it's a paladin or a tank questline, they just really won't let you use the fact that you're a white mage nearly at all here. Wow, someone is not listening. Oh, the seats here, are you hurt? Great One is filled with fear. All-consuming fear, unlike any I have ever felt. It's spoken to me, and its words were clarion. Drive the evil away. We can think of naught else, and so we will not receive the aid we seek, not until we can dispel the dread that claws at the forest's very heart. This was our last hope. It really wasn't. If you guys would just find Gleipnir and put me in a room with it, that's your last hope. We are not alone. Wow, that was a hell of a creature. Guess that's why they call them blasphemies rather than abominations. They really are like the light bringers to the abomination sin eaters. There'll be no mistake. This is the profane beast, a blasphemy that has mired the 12's wood in despair. Stay back! Next for the guardian tree. We must stop it. I'd be glad to, if the story would, like, get out of this cutscene and let me actually fight it. Poison, you mustn't let it touch you! Such fearsome strength. Enough! Fight it already! Bring it, man. I've killed behemoths. I've killed tons of behemoths. Oh! Oh, hello, Echo. Am I gonna get to see who he was before or something? No, is this... accordance with our covenant, Bajal have been blessed by the governmentals. And the moment we are chosen, we are bound to act as mediators between man and nature. Most skilled among us are honored as seedseers. It is their duty to guide Gridania through times poor and prosperous. What is this? Is Gleipnir a Pajal abomination? Let's say which you will be found more worthy. In my estimation, you both have the potential to become seedseers. Of that, I become more certain by the day. Oh, it may be. Yeah. I guess that kind of makes sense for why it has a big ol' horn then, huh? If it's like a Pajal that despaired. I don't want to be a seedseer. I never wanted to be a Pajal either. Never asked for any of this, and that's also why it's trying to poison the 12's wood and destroy the elementals, too. A Pajal that never wanted to be a Pajal. Can't live a normal life like everyone else. I don't get to grow old. Why was I cursed with these ugly horns? I like them. Maybe we didn't choose to be born this way. I don't think it makes us that different from everyone else. It's a rare gift. Blessing, even. It's really not a very rare gift. Although... oh yeah, if the Pajal don't grow old, then I suppose... Really? Really? during my stream is when you decide to start drilling and grinding and cutting and shit around the house. Every fucking time. Whatever. If the Pajol really don't grow old, then I guess it's a little less surprising that Kane, Arun, and Raya O are siblings. Because for all we know, they may have been born 50, 60, 100 years apart. Who knows? Maybe it is rarer. It's just the fact that there's so many Pajol because they don't frickin' grow old and die. Well, there's nothing I can do to stop it. So I don't know if all that's getting picked up on my microphone, but there's nothing I can do to stop it because he doesn't even understand what the fuck I mean when I say I'm streaming. Let alone does he give a shit about, like, showing any respect to the fact that I stream. Like, barely understands computers. He doesn't understand what streaming is, and even if I could explain it to him, he wouldn't care. Jump on this, and we should. Oh, my dad. My dad barely understands anything about computers. And if I told him I streamed, even if I could explain it to him, he wouldn't care about it. Like, he'd be like, it's just that thing he's doing up in his room, whatever, and just go back to his work, because it's more important than whatever I'm doing. He used to help others. We should. Think about on some becoming a seed seer, Kane. Oh. Oh, that's Kane Senna? Oh. It's parents for you. Yeah. Yeah. My entire family's kind of like that. Some wouldn't even understand what streaming is, and even those that do don't really think anything of it. Like, I'd kind of like to see maybe 1 or 2 members of my family who supported what I'm doing, like, realized something's really important to me and I care about it a lot. Maybe they could show a bit of support, but even those that understand what I mean when I say I'm streaming have never once shown up to a stream, never watched anything, never been supportive of any of it. It's just to be expected. But I shouldn't be sitting here complaining. I'm a grown-ass adult. It's past time for me to be worried about my parents or my family supporting anything I do. I've long since come to the conclusion they don't care. I support you watching people on Twitch because it fuels your addiction. Oh my god, parents fucking suck, man. I really didn't think that was Kane. I mean, you know, little blonde girl, kind of makes sense now, but I thought that might be the one that turned into Gleipnir. But maybe it's this guy, whoever he is. Although it's interesting to think that Kane had, like, hated the fact that she was a Pajal and didn't want to be a Seed Seer when she was a kid. Also, to realize that Isumiyan was this much older than Kane Senna, I did not know that. For some reason, I kind of thought Isumiyan was younger than her. Like, not for any particular reason. I guess just because of physically the way they look. Although, like I said, the Pajal don't age or grow old or seem to die at all, so, you know, who cares about that? But he just sort of looked younger than her. So who is this? Guessing. I never thought of it that way. Suppose I just hated not having a choice. Maybe you're right. So who the fuck is this guy? And I'm guessing he's the one that turned into Gleipnir, but who is that? I wonder if they've ever mentioned him at any point before this quest line. Yeah, definitely him. So whoever that gray-haired boy was is the one who became Gleipnir. But why so angry? Why so angry at the 12's wood and the elementals and everything? Yeah. Like I said, I'm a grown adult. Trying to wait for approval or, like, investment from my family it's long past time that I should be doing that. It's just annoying that I consistently get nothing from them. Like, it's annoying that when you consistently get no interest whatsoever from them for anything that you're interested in or are passionate about. Matron's merciful. Elder Seedseer has fallen unconscious, but is otherwise unharmed. Blasphemy must not have touched her. Do not see the telltale mark of poison. Still, I'm no healer. She should be looked after by those who are. Carry her back to Gridania. I guess as a blasphemy, he has little control over himself, so maybe it's not him who's specifically angry at the elementals or the 12's wood, and he seemed to be exerting just a tiny bit of control to keep himself from hurting Kane anymore. Let's leave before Gleitner returns. Wait me at the Adder's Nest. You know the real killer there, Chin, is like, you're affiliate. So your dad's like, I don't want you doing that. It fuels your addiction. But your addiction gets you some money. I mean, probably not a gigantic salary or anything. We're all pretty, like, small affiliates. But still, it gets you a couple, like, you know, some money. I don't tell him nothing about streaming. Oh, okay. So he has no idea that that you're an affiliate or that you can make money off of it. I mean, I get a Twitch. For those who don't know, Twitch does payouts whenever you reach about like $50. Twitch will then do a payout for you. Like they won't give you any money till you reach 50, and then they pay it out. I get a Twitch payout maybe every like 3 or 4 months, right? So I'm not like making bank as an affiliate, right? I'm not like gonna be rolling up on my freaking high roller fucking sports car and mansion anytime soon off of affiliate. But you know, I make $50 every couple of months off of it. From like the people who consistently stay subscribed, from probably mostly from Baron dropping 25 bits here and there. Like every stream Baron drops 25 bits maybe 3 or 4 times just for like dumbass blurp shit, which is fun. And that's like a quarter or so every time. That $50 saved you a couple of times. Yeah. Yeah. And the entire time I've been affiliate, which is that over a year now? No. No. It can have been. I have it written down on my page, actually. I should look at that. Go to my channel real quick. Dun, 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 dun. Pause. Don't want to actually watch the stream. Affiliate Ghetto, May 3rd, 2022. I've almost been an affiliate for a year. March, April, May. Few more months, and I'll have been an affiliate for over a year. And in that time, I've gotten 3? I don't know, 2 or 3 payouts from Twitch. So, you know, in over a year, I've made about $150 off of Twitch. Nothing huge, but still, it's money. It's money I didn't have before. With, like, no job, no income. It's money I didn't have. And it is helpful. But yeah, I guess if parents be parenting and you can't fucking tell them shit because they just suck and they're not going to support it anyway and they don't understand it anyway, then I guess you can't really explain to them, you know, I make money doing this, right? I mean, not a fortune, but I make some money doing this. So my addiction does bring in some cash. I mean, to thank you again for your assistance. As the Seaseer has been delivered into the care of Isumian. By the grace of the elementals, will she make a full recovery? Make money doing this. Yeah, but you don't. But you make more doing your normal job. Yeah, I know. I know that's exactly what they'd say. If I tried to explain it, have kind of explained it to those that understand what Twitch is and what streaming is, that since I'm an affiliate, I do kind of make a bit of money off of it. Not a lot, just a little bit here and there every so often. And they understand it and I guess accept it to a degree. But yeah, every single person in my family would much rather I go get some fucking shitty 9 to 5 that's gonna kill my spirit rather than doing something I actually care about because it'd pay better. Like, every person in my family would rather I'd spent, 40 years working some shit job that completely destroys everything that matters inside of me. Because, hey, at least then you'd have, like, a, a retirement fund and you'd have some money for when you're older. It's like, sure, but I wouldn't want to be alive when I'm older. I'd rather kill myself than do that for 40 years. I do need some other job that brings in some money. The problem is everything, like, I just can't get anything that fucking matters. She's already regained consciousness. It's not yet allowed to receive visitors. We can but wait for now. Like, why did I bother at a 4-year college? Why did I bother getting a bachelor's degree if I have to fucking do you want fries with that for the rest of my life? It's just annoying to me. Because, damn it. It's useless. Do nothing while the elder seats here face Gleitner alone. Stop whining. Actually, I should stop whining too. It's to be her shield. Stand before you while she lies abed is proof of my failure. Never understood anything I like, so I'm very glad I have my grandparents support your art. Present really anything as long as I'm safe, for the most part mentally stable. Yeah, your grandparents are surprisingly kind of amazing, Julie. Which isn't to say my parents are horrible. My mom is a decent person, but even then, support is just not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, unlike the rest of my... Well, some of the other members of my family would understand what streaming is if I told them I did it. Like, my brother's not stupid. He knows that sort of stuff. My nephews probably would understand what I mean if I said I streamed. I don't really talk to them about it, though. But unlike my dad, my mom understands what streaming is. I've talked to her about it occasionally. She understands what Twitch is and what it is I'm doing and all that sort of stuff. But, like, she's never once shown the slightest bit of interest or support about it, right? Like, I've told her about my stream. She's never once looked at them. It's just... it's not important to her. It's family, making it very clear through actions rather than words that the things you're passionate about don't matter to them. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, she wouldn't want you to throw your life away. Also, stop losing hope. How many times do I have to tell you people in the 12s would? Stop fucking losing hope. Hold on to that hope. Otherwise, I just have to kill you as well. And that's a pain in the ass already. Truly are the hero of whom the bards sing, aren't you? Suffered terrible trials, but still you stand tall and resolute. Thank you for your counsel. Close I came to forgetting the lessons of my past. I've spoken of it to few. Truth be told, it brings me shame to recall it. Really, shame? Oh! Oh, she didn't just find him at Cartano. He was a Garlean soldier at Cartano. Oh, that's interesting. Fought at Cartano. Not as a soldier of the Eosian Alliance, but as a conscript in the Garlean Imperial Army. Clad in armor and magitech, another drop in a sea of pitiless metal. You grow numb to the violence and the killing out of necessity. Becomes routine. Work to earn your next meal. But then the moon shattered and the dragon emerged, and when the dust had settled, I was another body clinging to life amongst the fallen. I remember staring at the burning sun above, growing weaker, wondering if the heat or an Eorzean blade would finish the job. But it wasn't death that came, but salvation. I was delivered from my well-earned fate by the Elder Seedseer. She deigned to save a man who once bared steel against her people. Kindness didn't end there. As my wounds had healed, she welcomed me with open arms. Never did she regard me with distrust, nor did she ever make me feel obliged to repay my debts. She fought not to take life, but to safeguard it. Through our friendship, I came to see the wisdom in that distinction. Pledged my remaining years to her service. It would have accomplished nothing to throw myself against Gleipnir in vain. Even if there was profit to be found in the sacrifice, she would not abide it. Your words serve to remind me of this. We'll defeat the blasphemy, aye. We'll do so without forsaking that which we hold dear, this I swear. Okay, what are we up to now? Are we going to be jumping levels at all? Because so far it's been 1-to-1. It's like, it started at 85, but it's been 85, 86, 87, 88. Yeah, it looks like it's every single level. Huh. The role quests for Endwalker seem to be a bit longer than the role quests for Shadowbringers were, too. Because the ones in Shadowbringers were jumping a couple levels here and there. Yeah, sure. The Elder Seedseer has grown strong enough to receive visitors. Come, we must go to Stillglade Fane at once. Hey, Orin. Hi, Orin. How have you been? Stillglade Conjurers. Also, what have you been up to lately?
There's also
Wholesome
wholesome.
18 plus.
So how
7 wholesome
how
days.
wholesome are we talking about? Are we talking about like all the wholesome?
All seven
seven
holes.
holes.
All 7 of them. All 7 holes for all 7 dicks.
Yes. Yep. All 7 holes, huh? All 7 holes for all 7 holes. For all 7 dicks. I'm wholesome. Yes, you are, Orin, the most wholesome person I know. 7 times as wholesome as anyone else. so much. Oh, the seat's here. Oh, damn it. Those like sudden yawns. I don't understand why it happens whenever I'm streaming. Maybe I just only pay attention to it this much when I'm streaming because of how annoying it is. It seems like I turn on my stream, I go live, and suddenly I'm yawning like every 5 minutes. I don't get why. Well, the seat's here. It fills my heart with joy to see you in better health. EP is like no stream. Except I'm not. Like, I'm not in any way, shape, or form sleepy. Not in the slightest. But just yawning up. Maybe I do it all day. Who knows? Maybe I'm just yawning all fucking day long and I just don't pay attention to it because I'm not streaming other times. I'm gladdened by your presence as well, my friend. Get that way if you read too much. And maybe that's it too. Huh. All the reading and voice acting and stuff. Maybe that triggers it. Stop saying young. You're making me young. Yeah, me too, Julie. Huh? Presence as well, my friend. As you wonder, know that the conjurers found no trace of the poison in my humans. There. If you are ready, I would resume our search for Gleipnir. They may be up to the task, but you are not. Shit, now that we're talking about it, I'm doing it even more. It's one thing to engage in conversation, quite another to go gallivanting about the Twelves Wood hunting a blasphemy. I'm aware you are a conjurer of surpassing skill, and will not presume to gainsay your judgment. But have my wounds not healed? Those visible to the naked eye, perhaps? Aware that the strain of your communion with the Great One has taken a toll on you in ways we may struggle to perceive. Great One is a being of purest ether. You were exposed to its unbridled despair, its raw terror. There may be consequences. It is somewhat interesting to me that Isumiyan is older than Kane, older than like all of them, and is leader of the conjurers and trains them and trains the young Pajal and all that, but is not a seed seer himself. Maybe that's why I figured he was younger than Kane. The fact that he isn't a seed seer, although I guess he doesn't have to be a seed seer. Chin. Sleepy, 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 sleepy. Yeah. I'm aware of that, but Gleipnir must be stopped until the blasphemy is laid low. Honk, me, 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 me. Unless it is laid low, people will continue to die. How am I to carry out my duties cloistered here? How am I to deliver the forest and its people from this despair? It is your duties that demand you remain. I understand your frustration, but if you were to fall in battle, your guiding light you bear were to fade, then all Gridania would be lost. Rest, Kane. Rest and gather your strength so that when the time comes, you are fit to do what must be done. In the meantime, trust in your allies. You are right. That said, I see no reason I cannot join in planning our next step. As you said before, conversation is quite unlike gallivanting about on a hunt. Our encounter with Gleipnir has made it plain that we cannot hope to triumph over it as we are. Only with the Great One's power can we achieve victory. When the seventh Umbral Calamity was nigh, the Great One committed a portion of its boundless strength to extend a barrier over heaven and earth, the Ermine Hedge. That's another 1.0 thing, undoubtedly, but I've never heard of it before. Thus was the Twelves Wood spared the worst. You see, these sorts of occurrences are one of the reasons why I'd almost like to see if there's a way to play like an old school 1.0 server sort of thing somewhere. Not because I want to do a lot of 1.0 stuff, because that game was jank. Like, just from the outside, looking at the occasional, here's some footage from 1.0 I want to show off for this reason or that, that game was fucking jank. But I'd like to play through some of the major story beats myself, just to see the big things. Like the MSQ of 1.0, Hildebrand stuff, maybe, but I think I've got most of the Hildebrand storyline now from doing the current Hildy stuff of what happened in 1.0. Maybe some of the job quest stuff, but I'm not sure how different it was. It's so bad, but it's... I really would like to find some, like, I'm hosting an old school server of 1.0 or 1. Whatever. I think 1. Had other versions as well. I keep saying 1.0 just to indicate the story that I'm talking about, but I think it had other versions as well. It just didn't go very far before it got canceled. Anyway. Just like some of the major story beats, and then just sort of piece out of that game as hard as I can as soon as I'm done with that. Although it might take forever to do the more major story beats because you'd have to level at least one class. More if you want to see the other job quests, but I don't know that I need to. So like level 1 class all the way up. And then you have to deal with, I think it had that old school experience system like FF11 has, or like Eureka and Boja have. No, not so much Boja, but like Eureka have, where like if you die you lose a bunch of experience and can even lose levels and shit too. So who knows? I still think it'd be interesting to at least like level 1 character through it and play through some of the MSQ and stuff. Just to get the major story stuff out of sort of learned for someone who never played 1.0. This is a Tolz's building. If we could convince it to again lend us even a small measure of that power, we would not need fear the poison. I believe we should pour our efforts into placating the elementals, that we might earn their favor. The enemy, the quieting worked before, it may again. I'm pretty sure you would not have gotten that dialogue option if you didn't play through the White Mage storyline. Of course. You're the inheritor of Eto as well. The game is like, oh yeah, White Mage, yep. In a room, praise the wisdom and bravery you displayed that day. 1.0 side quest would be nice. Like, you mean side stuff in the current version of the game, which sort of, like, shows you the big storyline beats from 1.0 for people who never got the chance to play it? Because if that's what you mean, then yeah, I agree. That would be kind of interesting. If they had, like, a series of side quests here in the current game that are like, here, we're going to show you some of the storyline from 1.0. The big stuff. Stuff that's taken me, like, forever, right? Like, the overall storyline I get, and what happened with Dalamud I get, but like the little beats where like they show me a tiny little blip of here's Sid and here's Nail and here's, you know, some crazy shit that happened in 1.0 that I've never seen before, or like oh, here's when they screwed up with the, Gubu? I think it was a Gubu. When they, like, unleashed it on Ul'dah and shit got way out of hand and became a much bigger problem than they thought it was. And Minfilia lost her dad and all this shit, right? Like, stuff like that I see in a cutscene in some side content here in this version of the game, like, over a year after I started it, and I never expected to see it there. It would be nice if they had, like, here's a 1.0 side story line, and we're going to show you some of the most important beats from 1.0 kind of thing. Just do these side quests. Scenes were so well done in 1.0, I'm so jealous. I'm nearly overrun by the creatures the Great One called to its defense. This time is different. The Great One quakes with such fear that it cannot even bear to behold its enemy, let alone fight it. Soon PM, alright, and I won't be running Diablo 3 season. Gotta go rest, bye. Alright. Have a good nap, Jen. Have a good rest. Still hurting from Monday. Oof. Don't slip on ice, people. It's not good for you. I don't think I have to worry about that too much where I am. Though I will admit, we're not going to have any ice. We never have any ice here. But we are getting a pretty big storm. I've heard that this storm that's been going on for a couple of days now, and it's been raining a lot here, is supposed to go for almost another whole week. Seasonal quest series would work, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that might be interesting. Plus, they could break it up more that way. Where they're like, here are some of the most important story beats, and then next year around on the time of the season, or even if they split it up into seasons the way they do with PvP. Like, here's the first few levels of storyline from 1.0, and it's part of this season, and you can maybe even get some sort of resource out of it if you decide to play through it, like you do with PvP. Like, here's some resource we'll give you, and you can buy some interesting, like, glamour stuff or whatever side things with it if you play through it. They could do something like that. And then, like, here's the next, like, 10 levels of the MSQ from 1.0 in the next season, and the next 10 in the next season, and something like that. We must first find a way to dispel this fear that binds him. We are sure that together we can defeat Gleipnir. I almost called it Sleipnir. Only then will it hearken to our words. I think, too, that we must gain a greater understanding of what drives Gleipnir. He seems to bear resentment towards the elementals, a great one in particular. Why? I've pondered this question myself. Lingering memories of the person Gleipnir once was may be responsible. Reports from Rods at Han suggest this is likely the case, in fact. We could but ascertain the original identity of the blasphemy. Where are we even to begin our investigation? Like, I already had an echo, and I can already pretty well guess who Gleipnir is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I doubt it, since the echo was Kane Senna as a child, and some other Pajal that I've never seen before. I'm somehow guessing that's Gleipnir. We were granted a vision of Gleipnir's past, and I was there. Then I may know who he is, or was. As do I, the boy who trained along Kane in her youth. Ea Sura Supin. Ea Sura Supin. That is one of the more off-the-wall Pajal names I've ever heard. Ea Sura Supin. After all these years, is this what became of him? You mentioned him briefly before. Were you close? Ea Sura was Pajali, like me, but he had never known his parents. Devoted himself wholly to his studies. He embraced the role of the forest had bestowed upon him, and truth be told was a much better student than I ever was. A fair assessment. Despite your esteemed heritage, you never took to my lessons as well as he, ever dreaming of the outside world. Stealing off into the woods more times than I can count. Could not keep watch over you at all hours, not even if I tried. I kind of love that I'm finding out that Asumiyan is that much older than, like, all the other Pajal in the entire world, apparently. It seems like Asumiyan is probably many centuries old, if not more. Elder Seedseer, a rebellious spirit? I'd scarce imagine it. Well, she had to grow up eventually. I resented being a Pajal. It was inconceivable to me that I could not live among the others. I did not scruple to express my misgivings to Asumiyan at every opportunity. Ea Sura was a pillar of constant support. It was thanks to his encouragement that I had at last embraced my destiny, resolved to use my gifts for the greater good. We would become seed seers together, I believed, until one fateful day when we were gathering herbs in the forest at Asumiyan's behest. We met a wanderer hailing from a distant land, who told us his beloved was with child, and that he had traveled to Gridania to beseech the Great One for a painless birth. He asked us to guide him to the guardian tree. However, entry into such sacred places was not ours to permit. There was something odd about his demeanor besides. With regret, I refused him, but Ea Sura was loath to turn away a goodly stranger in need. He agreed to guide the man despite my protestations. I ran to Asumiyan as fast as I could, and together we made haste to the guardian tree. Who the hell was this guy? Found the man motionless on the ground, having succumbed to the Great One's rage. And next to him was Ea Sura, alive but unconscious. Okay, so the Great One straight up killed this dude for, like, trespassing on its territory without permission. In time, he recovered and related the whole story. truth, the man had been an adventurer. Yep, seeker of wealth and glory. That's not at all surprising. As he had knelt to make false supplications, he lunged forward to tear a branch from the guardian tree. He was yet a child, and Easura had no inkling of the darkness that could dwell within men's hearts. He learned the lesson that day, but the price he paid for it was great indeed. Great One stripped Easura of his horns. Okay. This is why he's pissed. He was no longer... They literally took his horns away. No longer Pajal, no longer blessed. With them the right to call himself Pajal. I was forced to expel... Oh, no, wait, this is Sumi. I was forced to expel him from the Fane. Whoops. So caught up in her telling the story, I didn't realize the Sumiyon was changing and telling it and stuff. Never saw him again, nor heard a word of what had become of him, but not for lack of trying. Despite his hardships, did he remain in the Twelve's Wood all this time, I wonder? No more horny. I no longer wish to be horny. I want only to be happy. Oh god. For those who don't know, I've been engaging in more magic in 14. And seeing some of the magic that my friends have engaged in is kind of hilarious to me. He dreamed of naught else but becoming Seed Seer, of a life in service to the people in the forest. He knew the weight of the responsibility and was eager to bear it. He was deprived of that purpose by the very elementals he loved, and yet he did not lose that will to serve. I suspect and instead resolved to watch over the Twelve's Wood in his own way. Then what turned him into a blasphemy then? Although who knows what causes the blasphemies? Because I know what causes the abominations, but do blasphemies just lose hope as well and turn into creatures, but they're just like stronger beings? Or does something else cause them to become blasphemies? I shuddered to think what could have hastened his transformation into Blackmore, as if his life was not harsh enough. Yeah. Never knew his parents a complete orphan and then abandoned by the elementals for a mistake. Yeah, I get why he's angry. In their final conversation, Easura confided in me that he would search for a means to calm the Great One's rage and earn absolution. To that end, he said that he would seek the counsel of the Mughals. They've called the Twelve's Wood home for far longer than we have, so none are more like to have knowledge of its most hidden workings. That comes as no surprise. He would not give up so easily on his dream. Even if the Mughals know not of Easura, they may be able to help us in other ways. Will you travel to the Bramble Patch in my stead? I have faith they will accept you with their characteristic aplomb. Sure, why not? I've, beaten up their god a half dozen, no, more than that. 2 or 3 dozen times, because the bastard just keeps showing up on my Wondrous Tales. Like, he just won't stay off of the Wondrous Tales. So, I'm sure they'll be happy to see me. I probably should just be teleporting straight there, but... No. I can head out to East Shroud from here, it looks like. No, I can't. What is that? Oh, because it's the pier. Yeah, the pier. Forgot about that. That is the Lancer's Guild. I always forget this one can take you out to East Shroud. Because it's so cheap, I usually just teleport straight to Hawthorne Hut. I could have done that this time too, but eh. Interesting that it's back here. Was it back here? Where was the actual portal to... Yeah, here it is, right? Yeah, that's Thorn March. Okay, so this is the right area. Whisker Wall. Coopy Coop. See that I'm on. We saw the same as you. We don't want any. Move along, Coop. Wakwapika. Quite a peculiar face you have, Koopo. Familiar, too. You wouldn't be the self-same way who gave the legendary Moogle's guard what for, would you? Koopo! Julie. Aha! It's an honor to meet you. I'm going to thank you personally for bringing that silliness to an end. Pukwapika's the name. What brings you to our neck of the Twelveswood?
Well, this calls for a
Rich
celebration.
baby! Hey, Bob.
I will.
Thank you for the resub, Bob.
Twitch baby.
Twitch bye. Thank you for the resub, Bob. Also, for anyone who isn't already following Vup, go ahead and do so. He's a buddy, like one of the founders of our FC, and also a Twitch DJ, a Final Fantasy XIV DJ. So you can hang out with him and party hard all night long, or, you know, however long his sets go for. A few hours. Oh, Luco just logged in. No, wait. Setup? Oh, that must be an alt. Pleasant coincidence. We were just discussing how we ought to go about calming the elementals, Koopa. Blasphemy with the dreadful horns has got them on edge. And for good reason. I've had to ask my personal guard here to sleep with one eye open. In case you haven't noticed, the beast corruption has been spreading all throughout the woods. Needless to say, we've all got to stand up and put the Twelveswood to rights. Ryo suggested that the Moogles contribute by scouring the forest for even the smallest signs of taint. Gotta cleanse it before it gets out of hand, you know. Difficult and time-consuming work, but if it's in service of the forest, then we'll do it gladly, Koopa. Hey, I know you. You're the adventurer who gave me some of my finest scars. Kupti Koop of the Moogle's Guard. No hard feelings about the whole Hail to the King Koopo bit, I hope. Not gonna call for a rematch either, in case you're worried about that. Ryo and the others cured us of our tempering. Oh cool, they've been cured of tempering. Afterwards, sat us down for a stern lecture. No more calling upon good King Mogglmog the 12th for us. May he ever remain unsummoned in his royal grace and splendor. Indeed. What better way to make up for the past indiscretions than to serve the realm? Even now, our kin scour every elm of the Twelveswood, and we would be remiss not to do our part. We'd be overjoyed to have a hero such as you helping us as well. Whoa! If you're willing, something tells me you have a sharp eye for the taint we seek to cleanse. Can we count on you, Koopo? Yep, I got a sharp eye for that taint. Real sharp eye for the taint. I can spot it from a mile away. Reputation for magnanimity is well deserved. Let's begin by moving to higher ground. That we may survey the area and locate any particularly nasty spots of blight. What? I don't know, Vup. Sometimes I just speak without thinking. Plus Orin's in chat. It's bad influence. Oh yeah, Gunbreaker. Oh man, you guys have just been standing out here in the wilderness waiting for me for like half a year, haven't you? Able to make your way up here after all. I was worried you'd be stuck. Apologies for leaving you behind, but it's so easy to forget that you're kind of like wings, Koopo. Now then, where is it? Sure, it's Orin's fault. Sure, it's all Orin's fault. There, to the south. Cleanse that festering taint at once. Ugh. Stop describing it like that. Ugh. Apparently this forest needs a shower desperately. Scrub it clean. Some fine work, Kupo. Dare say it's in even better shape than it was before. Others are doubtless flittering about, stamping out corruption wheresoever it rears its hideous head. If I were the Great One, I'd be applauding our efforts. Well, insofar as such a being without hands can clap, I suppose. How goes the taint cleansing? Now that we've established this, every phrase out of their mouths just sounds horrible. It's so bad. Did what I could, but I swear as soon as I'm finished with one area, 2 more start manifesting a fresh taint. Forest's ability to heal itself is waning. This sickness is spreading too fast for even a legion of Moogles to manage. If we don't come up with a better solution soon. The situation is more grave than we imagined, Kupo. What do we do? We should maintain our efforts to purify the forest regardless. Since there are only so many of us, we must also help the forest to remember how to help itself. Brilliant idea, I think. God, Oren. How do we go about doing that? Oh, I was getting that part, Kupo. I've got it. We perform the friending. The what? The friending? In the name of good King Mogglmog the 12th, may he shower us with love and compassion, and Kupo nuts is that. Truth be told, I couldn't remember the ancient rite's name, so I just made something up on the spot, Kupo. But let's forget about that for now and move on to the stuff I do remember. Jesus Christ. It's an old ceremony. First performed when the nation of Gridania was but a spark of an idea of a random thought in its founders' heads. They knew if they were to establish a home in the Twelveswood, that they would first have to entreat the elementals for permission. So a mage and their company found and cleansed a few sources of foul ether, planting saplings in their place. Consecrated the soil with a prayer to show the forest the purity of their intentions. The elementals were so taken with his display that not only did they permit his people to settle within the forest, they also bestowed upon him their blessing as proof of their covenant. Kupo. I remember now. Gridanians still honored the agreement to this day. For every tree that's cut down, a sapling is planted. So if we follow history's example, we can soothe the forest's pain and also nourish it with new life. That's right, Kupo. Oh, but I wasn't finished with the story. Remember the mage who planted the sacred saplings? He's none other than Joran, sire of Iohokpota, the very first Pajal. That day forward, the elementals would bless a select few heroes with horns, favoring them with their fellowship. Pajal were exalted by all the people of the Twelveswood. Even we Moogles look upon them with awe. That's how it all began. Now they're telling me the whole history of the Pajal. Something wrong, Kupo? You have a strange look on your face. Gleipnir may be particularly deadly against you. Gleipnir may be a Pajal, former Pajal, at least. How dreadful, Kupo. What exactly are you saying? So the man you think may have become Gleipnir was a Pajal stripped of his blessing? And the blasphemy kills with a poison that manifests symptoms that resemble those of the creeping death? I feel sorry for this Aesura. To love the elementals only to be shunned by them. Be surrounded by the beauty of the Twelveswood and know that he was forever an outsider. All for a child's mistake. The spirit could easily have caused him to turn. This poison that preys upon those who bear the Twelveswood's blessing. The Hears, just like the creeping death once did, might be another manifestation of that despair. That would explain the elemental's unease, Kapo. We must redouble our efforts to plant saplings, or they may never speak to us again. Indeed. Well, first things first. Let's gather as many saplings as we can. Master, and wait for us at the adder's nest to make ready for a long and back-breaking day. Great. But if I'm going to help you perform this ancient ritual and plant all these saplings, does this mean my children are going to have cat ears and horns? Because that'll be interesting. Thank God I'm listening. Mello would have a little too much fun with Orin. Oh my god, horned cat just like the owl. I mean, technically I can have horns whenever I want. Kind of. Oh, I can't go in there. Let's see what I've got in the way of horns in a second. Welcome back, Ash. The Mughals have any insight into our problems? Reenactment of the ceremony which laid the foundation of Gridania. Fitting plan, given the gravity of the threat our nation now faces. As ever, there's much work to be done before we can even begin. While the Mughals gather saplings, we shall continue to scour the 12's woods for new beasts that must be purged. Let's pray that the Elder Seed Seer regains her strength quickly as well. For now, rest, my friend. It's a rare indulgence these days, and one you've earned 1,000 times over. Whoop! There goes another Twitch ad. So since Twitch is in the middle of throwing up ads on my stream without my permission, I guess I'll go and screw around with my horns now and see which ones I have. How am I doing on poetics? It's not too bad. I was just wondering if I should stop off over there at Rowena's and spend them all. Oh no, triple triad. This is the innkeep here. I may not have a lot of horns actually. I don't really spend much on them. Like, they cost MGP, they cost a bunch of different things, and I don't really buy the horns very often. Still have the big horn. Yeah, I really haven't spent... Wow, I don't have any? I could have swore I had at least one. I guess I didn't bother. Because I've been spending MGP on other things. I've been spending, like, trophy crystals and wolf marks on other things. Oh, I also have the Virtue Caller's horn as well. So I have the Summoner big horns. But I don't have just the horns that you can get for, like, MGP and from PvP and from Gold Saucer and all that stuff. Okay. Now that Twitch is done, I can go back out and do this. Honestly, I mostly just want to... Combat supplies, I believe. Miscellany? No. Special arms materials. Unidentifiable shells. I just spend all of my poetics on shells now. Like, I don't have anything I care to spend the poetics on anyway. So I basically just blow it all on shells, and then I use that to get the soil for my FC to do gardening with. Because it's better than just letting it build up to 2,000 and then wasting it. Coconut cod chowder. And this is level 89. Heart's true. It's gotta be a 91. Anyway. Thicker than twine serpents. Someone look out for palms in the distance. Lightning has not been seen since our last encounter. This brief respite may be our best chance to quell the Great One's terror. Make way for the saplings, Kupo! We've had plenty of practice cultivating our garden, so selecting the most robust ones was a simple matter. That was the hardest work, so you can help with the easy part. If you see a spot of corruption, cleanse the taint, plant the sapling in its place, Kupo. Wait. You want me to jam saplings in the taint? Ooh. Yeesh. Dude, enough times and the Great One is sure to understand what we're doing, that we're doing all we can to heal the forest, which ought to brighten its mood. We'll see to the shroud. You should have no trouble taking care of the rest, Kupo. Your efforts much appreciated. We'll begin without further delay. I trust you will not object to my company. I dare say healing the forest is one task for which I am more qualified than most. Stuff that taint with seed. Jesus, Orin. Stuff that taint with seed. The seeds here, are you well enough to leave the city? I should like to think I have been for some time. In any event, Isumi has finally grown tired of my objections and ceased his attempts to detain me further. Allow me to be the one to consecrate these saplings. It would be an honor to offer words of thanks to the forest for its bounty. Please do, Kupo. Prayer from the Elder Seedseer herself will surely hasten their growth from tiny saplings to towering tree. Such is my hope. As Joran did before me, I shall approach the Great One in friendship, that it might see through the veil of fear that blinds it, and remember our covenant. I feel like there really hasn't been much in this story that required me to be wearing this artifact set of armor yet. But for some reason, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I've seen bits and pieces of some of the role quest stuff from like streamers on Lulu's highlights who get highlighted in the middle of a role quest moment, right? And I swear I remember the tank one having this big fight scene where like you're standing at the head of an army and pulling your sword out and like, oh, charge, or whatever. But for some reason I didn't think it was in the shroud. Maybe I was wrong. I kind of thought it was taking place on the moon, but it seems like this entire tank questline is taking place in the shroud, so I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe that really was just had more to do with, I wonder if there's a post-role quest in this one. Because Shadowbringers had a post-quest after you finish the role quest that I didn't realize was there for the longest time, dealing with Silva. And I only did that one recently, so I wonder if these role quests have like a big all-together post-quest thing at the end of them as well, and maybe that's what I was seeing. Maybe. Am I cleansing all traces of corruption in the central shroud? So that might be what that was. The green tier. I sense that the flow of ether has become warped there. Impressive, Kupo. Not even my keen eyes could spot corruption from such a distance. It is but one of my many talents I owe to the elementals. Shall we be on our way? Still, it just feels fitting for me to run the role quest wearing the artifact sets. Maybe not the weapons. I guess it'll depend. If some of the weapons look okay, then maybe I'll use them. but I think I'd kind of like to have a like glowy, fancy weapon for each of the quests, for each of the role quests. Where is it? Blue Badger Gate. I already have one for Dragoon, so that'll cover next week, unless I end up doing something else. I keep saying, like, I already have these planned out, exactly which one on which week, but also there's another event, Little Ladies Day, or Little Ladies, yeah, Little Ladies Day, that I need to run at some point, and so it may be a little more spaced out than I think. But anyway, whenever I get around to it, I already have a big glowy one that I can use for Dragoon that I kind of like. I need to find one that works for, really Summoner is going to be the hardest one. Like, I found so few books that I like the look of in general, even the big glowy ones. There's just, it's hard to make a book look like a cool weapon, I think. Like, personally, subjectively, I think it's just hard to make a book look cool. So, but, Sage. Does Sage even have any glowy ones? It's a very new job. I guess the Endwalker trial ones might be big glowy ones on Sage. And, so yeah, some of the newest, like, glowy EX trial weapons might be for Sage. Bard, I don't know. I don't love a lot of the different bows. I just don't love a lot of the bows and the way they look. And then Summoner. These two I think are going to be the hardest to find a cool weapon for. But I'll do that at some point. Cleanse that tank. And then plant some seed in it. Cleanse that tank and then plant some seed. Oh, God. Look what you're doing to me, Orin. I'm becoming wholesome. Gratitude for your boundless blessings do I offer this gift. May it nourish you as you nourish us. At last the earth is cleansed. There is a settlement not far from here. We should tell them of this sapling, bid them watch over and keep it safe from harm. Go sell the seeds here. Stepbrother, inject your seed into the tank. God, Orin. Stepbrother. Oh, man. Just relay your words forthwith. It will give the people hope to know that they can aid in the restoration of the 12's wood. Thank you. Now we must go. Oh, man. Oh, God, our brains are cursed. Silent Arbor. There's something foul impedes the flow of ether. Let us hurry. Screw it, I'm just gonna start teleporting around. Like, the internet has destroyed our brains. I'm pretty sure it started with, like, my generation. Because my parents' generation didn't so much have the internet their entire lives growing up, but it started, I guess, around the time of my generation. We, like, had the internet our entire lives all while we were growing up, and we saw so much shit that no one should ever have to see. Like, we're gone. We're, like, miles gone. Injury has begun to heal. Our next destination lies to the north. Near Hurstmill, I believe. 'Tis faint, for we are far from the source. Nevertheless, I am certain it is there. Come. Come. As I was saying, cursed. Too much internet. Huh? Oh yeah, the monthly sellers. I forgot this has a path that leads through the... Oh, nope, I ended up in east. Screw this. Crap, Falgord, I have to go all the way out to Hurstmill. Yeah. Oh, look, it's like I'm running the relics all over again. You know I still haven't even finished the first relic. I still haven't even gotten to the next stage of the very first relic. Like, I've been stuck on books for like 6 months. And I could have finished them a lot faster than that, obviously, but I just keep not bothering to do the books. Because every single one of them is annoying, and you have to do 9 of them for every weapon. It's insane. I've long since basically decided, like, nah, I'm not gonna do all the relics. But now that means I have a bunch of, like, 1/3 of the way finished relics cluttering up my inventory. Because I got to Atma level with all of them. It is fortunate that the corruption here is faint. Simple prayer should suffice to cleanse the soil, after which we may plant the sapling. I sense no other disruptions in the etheric flow. Leads me to believe that the Moogles have already seen to the remainder. Indeed, the 12's wood sighs with a contentment I have not felt in a long time. Will it serve to placate the Great One, I cannot say, until we visit the Guardian Tree. Excuse me, but you're the elder Seatsia, aren't you? What brings you all the way to our village? Corruption that had upset the balance of ether, but that we have since cleansed with prayer and saplings, thus as the 12's would reclaimed a measure of peace. You've been planting trees. We have? The elementals have suffered much of late, and with these offerings we endeavor to raise their spirits. Elder Seatsia, I've got to protest. What of your people's spirits? We dread every step we must take out of doors. The terrible monster's still out there. Yes, and that's why we're doing this, dumbass. Preying upon innocent folk without rhyme or reason. It doesn't strike us dead where we stand, its poison will finish the job. And for that reason, we need the aid of the elementals to defeat the monster. Shut up. I know that you are afraid. You and yours suffer still. However, 'tis under the auspices of the elementals that we may call the 12's wood home, and they too cry out for deliverance. Even the Great One quakes with fear for the blasphemy's continued existence. To ignore their plight is to invite greater tragedy for us all. Rest assured, however, that I have not forgotten the needs of the people. We bring comfort to the elementals and renew our sacred ties, that we might enlist the aid of the Great One in combating Blackmere and the suffocating despair it spreads. So I pray you continue to put your faith in in our guardians and in me. What we could, Elder Seatsia. We've been dealing with death and sickness since before Blackmere's coming. Say the creeping death's nothing to fear these days, but we know better. One of ours caught it not long ago. Gave her the cure, had plenty on hand, and for a while we thought it would be alright, but by the time we realized that it hadn't done a damn thing, it was too late to call for a conjure. Sad day for all of us when she passed, but none more so than her poor husband, Supin. Ah, that was why. He was beside himself with grief. Who could blame him? Then came Gleipnir to compound our woes. Supin, can I be? You speak of Asura Supin. Asura? No, Supin was an odd one. No one mistake him for Pajal. Supin wasn't even his real name. That'd be Alengia. But his wife was fond of calling him Supin for some reason. And it caught on with the rest of us. Let's see, what did Alengia look like? I'd say he'd seen no more than 30 summers. Kept to himself, came and went with nary a word at times. But after he met his beloved, he became more of a fixture, friendly even. His wife was a sickly lass. She had spirit. Spirit's not enough to beat the creeping death. Pity we couldn't do anything for her. But it couldn't have been normal creeping death, because we've already established that Glimshroom concoction works on the creeping death, but not on the poison. So what did his wife have then? Because he hadn't become Gleipnir, which means it couldn't have been his poison, and yet the concoction didn't work on it. Or were they buying some fake-ass medicine? Was that it? Was someone selling them, like, fake medicine? Huh. If only made a new life for himself yet. Thank you for recounting Alenja's story. Sad though it was, it has helped me to better understand how much you all have suffered. Promise that you will have cause to celebrate soon. Till then, I implore you again to place your faith in the elementals and in me. Together we shall overcome this crisis. I'm not sure what happened here. Like, I'm not sure how his wife got sick and the medicine did nothing to save her. Because if it really was the creeping death, and it really was the actual Glimshroom concoction they were using on her, it should have worked fine. Despite what he said, I am certain this Alenja was a Asura Supin. Think that he was living so close by for all those years, searching for new purpose and finding true love. Only to be robbed of that fulfillment too. Were he still a Pajal empowered by the elementals? Could he have saved her? I doubt it. If the medicine didn't work for her, his healing probably wouldn't either. I would have dwelt on that question. I'd have to sleep this night. I know I would have. Mayhap in the end he came to blame the elementals for his helplessness, for her death, and in despair was consumed. The animosity would linger, endure, and in vengeance would Gleipnir find its final purpose. We've done all we can to show the Great One the purity of our intent. Let us hope that we will be accepted as friends. Honestly, rather than the artifact set that I'm wearing, it feels like it would have been much better to wear something that would have fit in Redania. And maybe I'll do that going forward. Okay, back to the tree. Maybe I'll do that going forward. Since these are like specific zones, right? Each of the role quests is based in a specific like city-state. Maybe instead of the artifact sets, I'll go for a set that like really fits the city-state. Okay, this is only level 89. What about the 90 quest? Our supplications cannot have escaped the Great One's notice. Oh, is that person doing the White Mage quest line right now? Yes, probably. I forgot. I was thinking, wait, but they have the White Mage outfit. They probably are done with it. But no, you get the White Mage outfit at level 45 for that first set of job quests, you always get the artifact set at like 45, not at 50. So they're probably doing the last quest in the 50 set now if they're at the old one. It'd be enough to receive an audience. So we're gonna get an audience. I still have to fight Gleitner. Great one, may I abide ever beneath your boughs, embraced by your compassion, grace, and wisdom. Distill the fear within your heart, and know that I am your faithful servant. Honestly, this song that we're listening to right now, especially that part at the beginning where it's like, sounds very similar to a song from, it's the Chrono series, but I can't remember if it's in Trigger. It might only be in Cross. And I think it's like, is it the Waterfall Shrine? The place where you find the Chrono Cross? I think that might be where it is. But I can't remember exactly where the song plays. Or maybe this is the one that's, it might be the song that plays when you meet the dragons in Chrono Cross. It's very, like, sort of like faith and religion and sort of tune. Very spiritual kind of tune. I think it might be when you're talking to the dragons. Not when you're fighting them or anything like that, but like when you're just sitting around talking to them. It is very similar. I mean, obviously not exactly the same song, but very similar. Huh. Feeling. Passing corruption. Refreshed, renewed green. Flesh restored. Child of child, covenant honored, friendship, peace. Look, Great One speaks through the other Seedseer. We're right to follow Joan's example. Captures but one aspect of a greater threat. Yeah. Profanity's spawn, despair's orphan, sadness and anger, sadness, death's prayer, one and all. Poison potent, wounds unmending, withering bark, no strength to share. After all we've done, you deny us. After all the elder Seedseers endured, she's pledged herself to you, devoted her life to the Twelve's Wood. People cry out for salvation, and she answered. The elementals cried out for deliverance, and she answered. Only you can help us now. If you don't, we're lost. She's lost. Please, I beg you. We beg you. Wow, you guys traveled a pretty far distance. You kind of come from all over the frickin' 12's Wood. What are you doing here? We've been dependent on the Seed Seers all our lives. Blaming them whenever something goes wrong. Without ever considering what we might do ourselves. But no longer. Well, the Seed Seer has gone to incredible lengths for her people. And so her people have come to return the favor. Her plea alone isn't convincing enough, and we'll raise our voices in support. Couldn't let them make a journey without protection. That, and we couldn't let them put us to shame. We too have come to stand with the other Seed Seer and beseech the Great One for aid. We all want the same thing, don't we? Peace restored to the forest. So please, share what you can, however little. Don't forsake us. Don't forsake her. Con Covenant's child, walks with man, with elemental, keeper of ancient faith, unbroken. Cannot, will not break faith. To man, render up flesh. And you agree to help us. Flesh, branches, take and join to oldest elders, renew bond as one stir. Raise up to heavens, covenant's symbol, our staff, all join, all bloom, all peace. You know, I've often wondered what her staff is made out of. Doesn't quite look like crystal. Doesn't really look like wood either. It almost looks like coral. But that seems weird. That it'd be like that big and that well shaped and I don't know, man. My duty weighed heavy on my heart. So heavy that at times I scarce remembered to breathe. For days and nights I worried that I would be found wanting. By your faith and trust has the path forward been revealed to us. You came hither united in purpose, and bared your hearts before the Great One. Gridania, is forever in your debt. It's not about the shape, it's about how it's used. That almost looks like a little flute or something. But I doubt it. It's probably just a tiny twig and you just hold it up to protect yourself from Gleipnir's poison. Also, I note that I did not get one in this scene, which makes me think it's not going to be like a duty action I have to use when Gleipnir tries to poison me. Instead, it seems like 4 different people got it. Maybe they're gonna like create a zone in which I can fight Gleipnir without having to worry about his poison or something. May I rely on you all once more? I bid you take these branches to every corner of the 12's Wood. Okay, there we go. And join them to the eldest trees. We might finally win free of this despair. Okay, so they're just basically gonna, like, purify and, immunize the 12's Wood to its poison or something. It should be done, Elder Seetsia. We swear it. Once the trees have been bound together in spirit, I shall carry out the Great One's final instruction and cast its cleansing power all across the 12's Wood. I must remind you, my friends, that Gleipnir still stalks the forest, It will not remain idle. It will attempt to stop us. Go with hope in your hearts, but do not lose sight of the danger. Okay, but how do we prevent Gleipnir's poison from affecting those of us that actually stand toe-to-toe with it and fight it? I thought that's what we were coming to the tree to get, was like protection for us so we can fight it. This seems like a treatment for the disease that's spreading throughout the 12's wood. But it doesn't seem like something that's going to save us in the moment. Oh well. I admit, for one moment I thought it wouldn't work. Elder Seeds here moved not only the hearts of the people, but that of the Force itself. The final task appears to be a bit more complicated than the Great One made it sound. You must scour the ancient text before the time comes. Consult with the Seedseer Council to make sure all goes according to plan. It's just as well. Still need to wait until the others have joined the Great One's branches to the many ancient trees scattered throughout the 12's wood. Then, of course, there's the matter of Gleipnir. It will not go peacefully as we work to hasten his demise. When he comes, we must be ready. I will be. I assume this is a tank food. Oh, I don't need this. That was an extra one, because I already had one saved. Determination Vitality. This is not a tank food. Like, I'm running the tank roll quest, and they gave me food for determination and crit. No tenacity whatsoever. That's surprising. Huh. Alright. This should be the last quest. I'll save that for just before the fight with Gleipnir, I suppose. May as well use the food they're giving me. Path Unveiled. Keeper of the Entwined Serpents is pleased to see you. Impeccable timing as always, Ash. Moments ago, the other Seedseer sent word to go and fetch you. She's already on her way, and will explain everything herself when she arrives. Although I will admit, her staff does actually kind of look like it's carved wood, right? The little tiny grooves that you see around the areas that are like refined and have definition really looks like someone who's like whittling wood carved them. But a tree that when you strip its bark, the flesh underneath will be like pure white like that. That's gotta be rare. Though I suppose if you'd find one anywhere, it'd be someplace like the 12's wood. Children of the 12's wood, both Moogle and man alike, have sallied forth, branches in hand, to the far reaches of the forest. Soon their task shall be completed. Though the shadow of death yet looms large, they do not allow despair to their hearts. They hold fast to their faith in a brighter future. We shall see their hope rewarded, and by the grace of the elementals consign these grim days to memory. We need only succeed in summoning the Ermine Hedge. You may recall that the Great One's words were muddled and esoteric. I believe it was an instruction to carry out this esoteric ceremony in order to expunge the corruption befouling the forest, that the once tainted earth may begin to mend. You see, when the Ermine Hedge was last formed, it was to protect the 12's wood from threats without. The Great One acted as a guardian, embracing the woods to shield them as a father would his child. On this occasion, however, we will call upon it to nourish and revitalize, as a mother nurses her child to make them strong against sickness. Channeling the power of the elementals in this way, we can stem the spread of Gleipnir's poison, and the scars of its passing will finally heal. At least, that was what the Great One intended to say, I believe. The Seedseer Council agrees with my interpretation, has permitted me to perform the ceremony. I have in my possession a single branch, the final one to be attached to the eldest tree of the 12's wood. For all that you have done to aid us thus far, I ask you accept this honor. Better to set the final stone in the new foundation for everlasting peace. You who have sacrificed so much for the sake of others. If we had even a sliver of your courage, we could move mountains. I reshaped entire worlds, so yeah, probably. Like, me and my friends reshaped the entire nest that Medion was in with nothing but our force of will, basically. Granted, it was a place steeped in dynamis, like, more rich in dynamis than any other place in the universe, so force of will is one way to shape it, that's for sure. Thank you, my friend. We will find the tree of which I spoke in front of the Leatherworkers Guild. Let us depart. Oh, really? It's right here in the middle of town. Though it seems none of us had quite so much force of will to reshape that place, then this is sacred. Like, he gave birth to that place. He gave it shape and oxygen and just the sheer ability to survive there. Who's this tiny little kid? No one I recognize, just some little kid hanging out with the wood whaler. Wonder if that's supposed to be his mom or something. Small. Tiny Ellison. Honestly, they're the only Ellison that don't look entirely like giraffes. And even then, they're starting. I mean, look at the length of that neck on this kid who's probably like 8 or 10 years old. It's already getting pretty long. Poor kid. Oh, that's okay. Everyone else is a giraffe too, he's fine. He? I mean, I think he, but if the kid's young enough, that could be she. Actually, the bottom part looks kind of like a skirt too, so maybe that's supposed to be female? I don't know, who gives a shit? Also, Ellison are short till they're 20. Really? I mean, Alphido and Alice are somewhat short, but they're not that short. Yeah, honestly, who gives a shit? Male, female, anything else in between, anything not even remotely close to that. Who cares? The kid's whatever. Look to the boughs above, and you will see a spot where the bark has been discolored by age and the elements. There you must affix the branch. You are quite the climber. And with that, all preparations are now complete. Let us return to the Guardian Tree, and with the aid of the Great One, deliver salvation to the whole of the 12's room. Like, Gleipnir's gonna be pissed. Not to be straight, but I'd kiss Kane. Chili. Not to be straight, but I'd kiss Kane. Oh, there's actually a, I mean, honestly, it's gonna take about the same amount of time. But who cares? It'll be like 50 less gil this way. Wolf. Wolf? Yeah, Wolf Cape. It's like range right now. I get it. I mean, not to be gay, but I'd probably kiss Raha. 'Cause why not? He's cute. Sorry. He's just a little guy. Yup. That's the thing about me. I'm very, very comfortable in my own skin and my own sexuality. And I'm about 90% straight. Ish. I'm about 90% straight. But hey, cute guy's a cute guy. I'm very comfortable in my own, like, my own skin, my own gender, and my own sexuality. I've had a long time to get comfortable with who I am. Julie, amen. Right. It's like, cute guy's a cute guy still. It's truly Aesura's lingering resentment for the elementals that drives the blasphemy. Then it will surely come. For the sake of the man he was, I must try to appeal to his reason. But should I fail, then we will have no recourse but to fight. Regardless, this day we shall bid farewell to Black Nat. I level 550. I actually have, like, thoroughly outscaled this one. I think my tank is up to 615 on my tank right now. Plus, I still need to get my my Euphra piece for this week, I think. So if any of you guys want to run that with me after stream, well, not right after stream, probably about a half hour or so after stream, once I clip and tweet and then go and grab some food and stuff, then I'll probably be running Euphra later tonight. I think I need it this week, actually. When did I run it with Mello and the others? I think that might have been Monday or Sunday, so that would have been last week's piece. Anyway. Oh yeah, because Tuesday I was doing the Grand Endeavor, and I've been busy with other stuff and haven't really played outside of Tuesday and today. So funny when people are shocked by how much I can simp while it's completely asexual feeling. Just simp for characters you like, even though it's like, Through the branches of the guardian tree, the 12's wood is become as one. In summoning the ermine hedge, every ilm of these sacred lands will be imbued with the Great One's nourishing ether. The forest will be empowered to heal itself, to break free of Gleipnir's despair. The ceremony is complex and delicate, and I must maintain focus. Trust you will do what is necessary to see that I am not interrupted. I would be interested in knowing, like, still as spoiler-free as possible, no specific details, but if all of the Endwalker role quests are, like, as aggressively focused on the area that you go to as this one is. I mean, I'm horny, I'm just, like, dumbfounded, like, what do you mean, horny? I just thought they were cute. Yeah. See, I don't get that. I understand where you come from, but I don't come from that same place, because I am about as far from asexual as it gets. I mean, I guess not that much. But I have a pretty strong drive. So it's like, are you horny? It's like, probably. But yes, I would be interested to know if the rest of the role quests are as aggressively focused on the zone as this one was, right? Like, the one that takes you to the Ul'Dan delegate, are you all over Ul'Da and dealing with, like, immortal flames and brass blades the whole time and stuff like that kind of thing, right? Because the glam I went with today would have looked good if this was just like this big paladin quest, but it was so focused on the shroud that the glam kind of felt out of place like the whole time I was doing this tonight. So if that's the case, then for the other role quests, I'll probably focus more on putting together a glam that would look really good and in place in the zones that I'm going to, rather than for the class that I'm playing as. Glams are hard. Yeah, they can be. Leibniz comes. Defend the Elder Seedseer. Blasphemy, Gleipnir. Okay then. Now we get the title card. Are the elementals so deserving of your scorn? Do you hate me too for my horns? I knew a boy once, a boy who called them gifts, symbols of the blessings he resolved to share with the world. Well, I mean, he got his horns back and then some. The beast before me now brings naught but misery and death, marks its victims with chains to bind and condemn, to share in its suffering. I was not there for you then, but I am here for you now, to unmake what you have become. I shall begin the ceremony. Stand fast and remember what we fight for. Yeah, for the rest of the role quests, I'll probably just see which delegate represents each role, and for that role, I'll put together a glam that works really well in that zone. Rather than using the artifact sets. Okay, let's raise this as well, just in case, a little bit. There we go. Okay, she's summoning the hedge. Hey. No, you do not. Oh, her poison bro. Her little dance. Cannot move. Let's just take this away from them, please. Poison. Oh god. Knocked me down. Active time maneuver. I had to basically get back up. Poison. Yeah, see? Like, I thought we were gonna build up a way to resist the poison when we fought him, but no, instead we just went straight at him with the poison. Oh no, you don't. You're not allowed to crush her. To crush her. Sorry. Yeah. So we're all basically just like stumbling, going down for the count suddenly at like any moment, pretty much. Yeah. You don't scare me. I've dealt with so many enemies with so many frickin' orange zones of badness. I'm fine. I can avoid this. Also, I just keep having to interrupt him. Every single tank has interrupt, right? Yeah, every tank has interject. That's a role thing, a class thing. Okay. I was gonna say, could every tank handle this as well as I'm doing here? And yes, every tank gets interject. I know how this one works, dude. You don't scare me. Look, just because you cover the arena, you don't scare me. I know how these mechanics work. Out of my ass. I need to take one of these. Keeper, are you gonna take one of these? Because otherwise Kane's screwed. Can I take multiple? Oh, I could have taken multiple. Shit. Screwed that up. I should have taken as many of those as I could and then just like invuln through it or mid through it. How many times do I have to interject you, idiot? You're not allowed to hit her. Why do I get the feeling Mortal Crush might be something that, like, really screws it up? Because of the fact that you have Interject, I'm thinking Mortal Crush might be like an instant you failed because he hits high with it. And it's like, game over, you failed. Oops. I was so focused on talking there, I didn't move fast enough. Just sitting here doing my rotation. I really am not even having to use much mitigation either in this. Oh, I should probably have my tank stance on though to ensure that they get focused on me. We are not allowed to attack Prime. Oh wait, is he? No, he's not. I thought he was doing Mortal Blow or whatever while I was distracted. Ooh. Just get everyone's attention focused on me and just kill more AoEs. No, you're not allowed to do that today. Come on, come on. ATM. No, you can't use Fatal Poison. I love that this entire boss fight is just me refusing to let him use moves. Like, this entire boss fight is built around, like, no, you're not allowed to do that. I'm just, like, smacking his, like, the dog who's getting all up in our business, and I just keep smacking him on the nose. Because, like, stop it. You're not allowed. Bad dog. I just keep hitting him with rolled up newspaper. That's what it is. I just keep whacking him with a rolled up newspaper. Every time he tries to do some horrible thing. He's like, bad dog. Down for the count. Oh god, the Keeper ain't doing so good.
By
Come on,
the grace
Catman.
of the elementals!
Airman Hedge. Keeper, bring him back into the zone. Oh, yeah, he's not so good. I mean, he did his job, but he's down for the count for now. That's okay. Yeah, she healed him.
By the light of the crystal!
Plus, my entire rotation is back off cooldown, so it's time to really hit this guy hard. Fight or Flight, 3 atonements, plus the entire blade combo, all while Fight or Flight is active. Let's go and bring this over here. Kane! She ran to go to me after I already brought it to her. God damn it. They're doing pretty good. Feels like, it really kind of feels like ever since they started doing the trusts, the individual, like, level sync duties, NPCs have been handling better as well. Like, whatever AI they use on the trust, it's not the best AI in the universe or anything, but it seems like all the like, level sync duties that have NPCs in them are, like, using an updated sort of, like, this is what we give the trust's AI stuff. From that point on.
I
They just
shall
seem
ease
to
your
handle
hurts.
it a little better. Handle everything a little better. Since then. Oh shit, I probably was supposed to stand with them that whole time. Instead of wandering off after the first attack. Okay, so there's no way for me to block the lethal poison this time. I should at least try and stand with them. No, that was hitting everyone. Just go ahead and reprisal you to reduce how much damage you're dealing here.
Be gone with you!
Big one
What's
with
will
you.
be done!
She's pretty good at keeping her health up. I mean, she is a white mage. Should be expected. dodge right now. Didn't even get into my blade combo. I killed him with freaking Requiescat. Alright, there we go. Let me take this. There we go. Through sacred soil and azure skies, may your compassion flow and swell to banish the darkness. Also, we really didn't need nearly as much from the elementals this time around. Like, true, we needed to use the henge again, but you didn't need to protect the entire 12's wood. We needed to protect, like, a diameter of maybe 20 ohms. Right? Receding terror, blissful, quiet. Blessing, covenant preserved, now and always, child of child. Honor and gratitude unending. I just noticed it go gray out of the side of my eye there, which just threw up another unwanted ad in the middle of a cutscene. Are you kidding me? Because I have the controls for running ads myself up on OBS, and I just noticed it like black out in the side of my view there in the middle of the cutscene. It's like, God damn it, Twitch. Okay, now the ad should be done. There we go. We as well. Honor and gratitude unending. We could not have overcome the blasphemy without your aid. In your everlasting grace, I pray you continue to guide we children of the forest. In your boundless mercy, I pray you forgive the lost and forsaken who succumb to despair. That'd be really interesting here. Nope, they didn't. They didn't do it. I was going to say, I wonder if, like, the blasphemy is gonna disappear and there will be a tiny little Pajal baby, like, just sitting there. Right? Like, they give him a second chance or something, basically, to start over. That would have been somewhat interesting to me, but they didn't end up doing that. Because, like, who the fuck knows what the elementals can and can't do? It seems like pretty much whatever they want. For you, my dear Easura, promise I shall never forget your words of wisdom. Ours is indeed a gift and a blessing, and a duty to our people I will uphold. Till my final breath, this I swear. In fact, almost undoubtedly, there is an extra quest after you finish all these role quests. Like, I wasn't sure, but the way they did in Shadowbringers, I imagine there must be. They seem to like doing that. They do that with the Beast Tribes as well, which is something I didn't really realize until more recently, just a couple months ago, was that you finish all the Beast Tribes for an expansion, and then it's like, okay, now do the big Alliance quest for the Beast Tribes, right? And then they did that for the Shadowbringer role quests. Undoubtedly, they have one for the Endwalker ones as well. Here, do these 5 role quests. Now do the big role quest. Thank you, Ashran. The great cleansing should not have succeeded without you. The blight has been purged, and the blasphemous beast which bore it laid low. The sacred wood that once held its breath in fear now breathes a long sigh of relief. I must return to Gridania and my regular duties as Elder Seedseer. But I should be glad if you could call upon me there. That is, if I may impose upon you one final time. For what? Thank you. Promise not to detain you at length. Let us meet again at the Lotus Stand. Also, you know, at some point, I really should get into, Heaven on High. Because I've made no progress on Heaven on High. Like, I'm starting from nothing. And, even though it's not nearly as, like, important story-wise, the very first time I go into Heaven on High, I would like that to be on stream. So probably one of these weeks, rather than being Job Quest, Roll Quest, I'll probably make it the Little Ladies' Day event, and then, like, starting Heaven on High. With a group, without a group, I honestly don't know. Maybe just go in solo. And obviously I'm not going to beat it. I'll die at some point, but I'll get a feel for what it's like. That might be interesting. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. So let's go, Chitura. The Great One's ether flows all throughout the Twelveswood, purging the last vestiges of Gleipnir's poison. Surviving wounded are no longer in danger and have begun to recover at long last. Okay. We have much cause to rejoice, in no small part because of you, my friend. On behalf of Gridania and myself, allow me to thank you yet again for your tireless efforts in bringing Gleipnir to heal. You went above and beyond the call of duty for the sake of our people and the homeland. You're inspiring to behold, not for the first time, I must say. Give me all the seats here. But with this crisis behind us, I'd suggest a new course of action. Oh, and what would that be? Rest. In all our time together, I've never seen you so hard-pressed. Surely you are weary and could benefit from a brief respite. Appreciate your concern, my friend, but I cannot, will not. One day, perhaps, but not this day. But Elder Seedseer, recent events have given me cause to reflect upon my past, upon lessons that I once thought I had taken to heart. When I did not yet understand the duty with which I had been entrusted, when these horns of mine were but chains binding me to a destiny I did not choose. It was Easura who taught me to appreciate the gift I had been given. Had he not been here to help me keep to the proper path, where would my errant feet have taken me instead? He was perhaps the first, but he would not be the last. My brother and sister and countless other kind souls, through their words and their support, have also helped me to continue to find a way forward, even when I thought there was none. It is by opening our hearts to one another that we, in turn, open new paths, that we can conceive of greater opportunities and brighter futures. All who live within Gridania are deserving of these gifts, so I must always be there for them, that together we may journey in safety through darkest night. Not tempted to live wild and free like an adventurer. Yeah, not tempted to go off on an adventure with me. It is not without its appeal. I recall fondly the few occasions I have traveled beyond. Our time together in the churning mist left a lasting impression. If ever there came a time when I need no longer serve as Elder Seedseer, I'd like very much to accompany you on another adventure. I'm getting that a lot from a lot of characters in the storyline, who are like, whenever I'm out of my, like, duties, I'd love to go on an adventure with you. Regardless of what the future has in store, my present course is clear. So long as we Pajal serve as a bridge between man and elemental, Gridania can weather any storm. And so I will continue to walk hand in hand with my people and my patrons, along a path that we discover together. The blasphemy is no more. There's still administrative matters to resolve. It's not too much to ask. Could you bring word of these recent events to our delegate in Rods at Han? I knew I'd have to return to him eventually. It's been an honor and a pleasure, my friend. May the elementals watch over and keep you. And that's why I did this. So that I could quickly return. I also need to do Hildy eventually. That'll be interesting. I have a brand new glam put together for Hildebrand stuff. Cat Cop got himself a little bit of a promotion. I mean, after all, he went through all the nonsense with Hildebrand, then retired to Kugane, only to get called back into service at the last second. So, you know, he's gone above and beyond, so he's been promoted slightly. Welcome back. Pray you brought glad tidings. Leibniz is slain. Brought joy to me on an otherwise uneventful day. Of course, I had complete faith in your success, but had begun to worry ever so slightly when you did not return as quickly as I anticipated. I'll report your success to the envoys at once. If we have further need of you, I pray you'll answer our call. It's one role quest down. Buy the job-specific gear for level 90 tanks. Yep. More than death. Path unveiled. Yep, okay. Each of these will just be a 5-point achievement, undoubtedly, and then there will be a bigger one at the end, which will probably give you a title. Oh yeah, Sanctuary Seeker. And a Bulwark Between Worlds. Okay. Yeah, I should have put together just a Gridania glam. Alright, who does what? Oh no, wait, not you. Uldan is healer. Oh, that's impressive. Uldan is healer. That's surprising, because Uldan has no healers. Oh no, that's Alamegan. Not Uldan. That's Alamegan. Okay, that makes more sense. Laminta, Doma, Ishgard. Okay. Is Doma melee? No, it's physical ranged. Okay. If Doma was melee, I was about to say, maybe I should be leveling Samurai, not Dragoon, but it's physical ranged. Okay. So then who's melee? Ishgard? Because if so... No. They're magic. Really? Well, I don't really have one for that, then. Summoner will be fine, I suppose. If Ishgard was healer, I would have thought maybe Astrologian, but they don't have a magic. Because Red Mage was Stormblood. Ishgard was Astro, Dark Knight, Machinist. That's the other one I was forgetting. Yeah, they don't have a magic. all of these seem to be like, wow, that's surprising. Why do they want that class? Though I guess it kind of makes sense. If you think about it, like, yeah, they don't have any of those in that expansion. Then it kind of makes sense that they want you to be one of those to come help them with a problem. So this should be melee. Luminson. I mean, this wasn't part of an expansion, so I'm not too surprised. They do have the melee ones. Well, maybe I should be a ninja for this then. No, because you start as a rogue, so it almost makes sense to go as a rogue if Luminsa has the melee DPS role quest. But the truth is, you went ninja, and it's gotten like so far from rogue. Even though the storyline doubles back on the rogues, the class has gotten so far from what it was as a rogue that it's almost indecipherable, really. Did they have a DPS? They have a tank, they have Marauder, they have Rogue, but did they have any other DPS is what I mean. They have Arcanist, they have Marauder. Is that it? I know they have Arcanist, Marauder, and Rogue. Did Luminsa have anything else? I'm forgetting. I don't think so. Because this was Ul'dah, Luminsa, Ishgard, Boja, but Stormblood, Ul'dah, Gridania. That was Luminsa. That's Doma. That's Kugane. So Stormblood. But that's kind of Ul'dah? No, really, that's Garlemald. That's Garlemald. Gridania. Luminsa. But it started as Arcanist, so that would have been the same. Ishgard. Charlian, absolutely. Gridania. Ishgard. Bavner, definitely. Ul'dah, also Luminsa. And where was this? Like, I know this is Stormblood, and I know it started with Jeroen, but the mountains were... This started as a training regime for a group of spellcasters in the mountains somewhere. I think it was in Alamigo, right? It was in, like, the mountains of the Alamigan province, basically. I believe so. I believe they train red magic up in the mountains of Alamigo. And then, technically, this is America, basically. But, for our purposes, it started kind of in Ul'dah. No, it started kind of in Luminsa, actually. And it's taking place in Ul'dah now, but very much so, this is the New World. A place we haven't even been allowed to visit. Yeah, so Luminsa only had, aside from the, like, specialty job that wasn't added until later, like, post-ARR, Luminsa only had 2 jobs. Well, 2 classes that turned into 3 jobs. Forget about that after so long. Anywho, that's gonna be all for today. And instead of a big fancy glam like this for the future role quests, I'll put together a glam that works in like the zone I'm going to, rather than some big artifact armor thing. Oh, would you look at that? All of my tank stuff isn't locked anymore. Even though most of it's just glam, but... And I can color it and everything, too. Alright. Back to Twitch. And live videos. I need to open up the Warframe. No. Do I? Are they doing drops right now? Probably. Deal with that later. Who's live? What are we doing here? still got here 14. Discard Destiny, blah blah blah. Dragon, 14 online. I don't know who this is. I must have followed this from someone else's stream. Maybe more forsake. Holy shit, Dan's still going. 7 hours. Oh, Lau is streaming? Really? That's surprising. I didn't even know Lau streamed. Maybe I'll see what he's up to. Doesn't really need the raid, but we'll see. Otherwise, maybe Sev. Maybe so. Haven't raided him before anyway. Only really interacted with him like online in some places, but not through streams, that's for sure. Alright. We'll go ahead and hop over to WoW. He's already got a decent number of viewers, but fuck it, why not? Show some support to him. Anyway, rest of the week, Saturday and Sunday. I'm planning for it to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, going through Wall Market and all that story. So, you know, dancing and dresses and infiltration and fights and all that sort of crazy stuff. And beyond, however far I get in the 2 streams. It may change, depending on if I have anything to do with family, or if I desperately need to throw in a stream for 14 for like an event or something. But I think Saturday and Sunday are going to be FF7R. And then, I don't want to talk about next week yet, because, again, with the event coming up and all the other side stuff I need to do, it may not be job and role quests like I did this week. That may change, but we'll see. Anyway, that'll be it for the rest of this week. Will be FF7R, 1 p.m. Pacific time, Saturday and Sunday. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye.